What's going on? I am Nando.
And I'm DJ.
And I'm Diggins.
And this is Mostly Nitpicking, a podcast where every week we pick apart a piece of pop culture by looking exclusively at the details. Woohoo!
Woo, yeah,
hooray!
You guys, we got a weird one today.
I think so.
I wouldn't say this is like one of the weirder movies we've ever... I mean, it's a weird movie. It's a really weird movie.
Mm-hmm. You don't
but
say.
One of the best movies we've ever done, I think.
Absolutely.
I hate you, Diggins.
Absolutely. But so we're going to talk about Mortal Kombat: Annihilation. It annihilated our colons, as we all know.
Oh my god, that made me laugh too hard. That was such a stupid joke.
It was a really stupid joke. And what was I going to say? So we're going to talk about that. That is the movie of the week, obviously, and our lead up to the Mortal Kombat movie, which comes out in like a couple days for us. I mean, Friday.
It already came
22nd.
out.
Yeah, probably already came out for you guys.
I think it's worth pointing out that there are now 3 Mortal Kombat movies, and 2 of them are named Mortal Kombat.
I know.
Yeah,
it should have been the Mortal Kombat. But also, what
Or
could
Mortal
you call
Kombats.
it, you know?
I mean, that's a good question.
Like, Mortal Kombat. You could have done Origins. I think they wanted to be like, it's not related to the other ones, and not even leave a little doubt. But,
yeah.
Because it's like, it really does seem like its own thing, obviously, because none of the cast members are the same. Not that stopped this movie, but...
Except it's a direct sequel. Like, it literally follows up at the end of the next movie. You could make this one long, like, 3.5-hour movie.
No. I'm
We're
saying...
talking about the new one.
I'm saying the new one doesn't have anything to do with Annihilation. And then my joke was that this and Annihilation and the one that came before that also don't have much to do with each other. It should be one long movie, except you'd have to assume you hit your head right in the middle. Forgot what everybody looked and sounded like.
It's one long movie where they figured that nobody was going to watch the whole thing, so they just stopped trying.
Yeah.
Through.
And, we'll talk about it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Before that, guys, let's talk about this week. Because this is 2021, as we all know, the year of martial arts. There was a new trailer for a Marvel property called Shang-Chi. I made you guys watch this before the thing. I made Dickens watch it. DJ had already seen it. That looks pretty fun.
Yeah, I think so. Ready for my, like, sexy, ripped Asian lead, which is fun.
Yeah. Well, don't waste too long, because we may get that in this Mortal Kombat movie. Louis Tan is playing...
That's
probably
true.
Some sexy ripped guy.
DJ,
we don't know.
You don't have to be so obvious in your thirst over Aquafina.
I mean, I wouldn't say delicious, but certainly jacked.
I know we can't get what's her name on the pod. We'll never get Mary Elizabeth Winstead on the pod, but we could maybe get Aquafina. I mean, obviously now she's the toast of Hollywood, but I think you could convince her to come on a podcast and make fun of someone. That seems like something she'd do.
Yeah, not today though, but maybe one day when she figures out what that would sound like on the podcast.
That's right.
Yeah, when one of us feels comfortable calling our close personal friend Aquafina. And
yeah. Oh, yeah.
but
That's
right now,
definitely going to
none
happen
of us
eventually.
are comfortable doing that.
I mean, Let me call on it.
Oh, hold on a
Are
second.
you sure? Listen,
before we get to that, I do want to say, and I already forgot about this, we got some GIF understanding, some people that had
that's
GIF
true.
thoughts.
We should talk about that, yeah.
The big one I think was very interesting was, I don't remember who it was, decided that Dickens' Christopher Lambert and Christopher... Christoph Waltz
yeah.
were both closer to Tommy Wiseau's. That was my favorite decision that came to the group, which Tommy Wiseau, much like this movie, not at home in front of a green screen. He would fit right in.
Oh, he would have been great in this
which Mortal
movie.
Kombat character should Tommy Wiseau have been?
I mean, see, I want to say Johnny Cage because he fashions himself as like a big like Hollywood actor who would be great at fighting.
Absolutely.
No. Way too obvious.
No, I know. I was going to say it doesn't. I don't think that scans. What do you think, Diggins?
I think Tommy Wiseau should be... Ooh, I'm trying to go with like a deep pull here.
Ermac. He should be Ermac.
No,
Great.
he shouldn't be any of the ninjas. Definitely not. He doesn't have a ninja energy.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, go ahead.
You know what? I think Tommy Wiseau would make a great Kung Lao.
Oh my
Ooh,
god!
that's
You dishonor
an
his name.
one. Tommy Wiseau or Kung Lao?
Kung Lao, the best character in any of these that never matters. He's the only character on the poster that's a good guy from the new one. They're like, oh fuck, they're gonna kill him, aren't they? God damn it! Don't kill Kung Lao. He's the cool guy. But they're definitely gonna kill him. I would like to see him as Baraka. I feel like he's got a hot Baraka energy.
Yeah.
Obviously, you wouldn't get. I'm trying to think of a character that could incorporate the Tommy Wiseau hair. And there's several.
Oh, guys, obviously he'd be Shinnok. Come on, what's wrong with that?
Shinnok.
He could be Shinnok. Yeah, that's not bad.
All right.
I'm trying to think. I don't know. Apparently, there's a character named Meat that is just a person with no skin. He maybe be that guy.
What about Kotal Khan? Could he be Kotal Khan?
Yeah, he could be Kotal Khan. He could be
Big Kotal Khan energy.
I like Kotal Khan. I didn't like him last week, but now I like him. I think he's cool.
You're
because
back
I
on the
started
team?
playing Mortal Kombat 11. I changed my mind. He's cool.
You're playing? Dude.
Yeah.
I'll get it. What are you playing it on?
PS4. Or yeah. So I don't know if there's crossplay
together?
between that and your future console, but
Yes, I was gonna
DJ's
say.
like, oh, you're still a PS4 playing peasant.
yeah.
Honestly, can you even see the characters? Like, can you see the definitions of Smoke's muscles? Like, I don't even. Like...
It probably looks like I'm playing. To you, it would look like playing on a Super Nintendo. But
I mean, yeah, you're not wrong.
Someone like me, it looks like I'm playing on. It looks like they're all fighting right in front of me. But anyway, shirtless hunks. What do we think of Shang-Chi? Pretty cool, huh? Aquafina's in it. What else?
Yeah.
He's got 10 rings.
Mm-hmm. So I learned something, and I was not aware of this. I did not know there was a Marvel one-shot called All Hail the King, where apparently it's learned that the Mandarin is like a guy that, Trevor stole his name. It's like the real Mandarin's coming after you. And I thought that was interesting. I was like, oh, I found this short because I was made aware of it from Mr. Sunday Movies. So I sought it out, and I'm like, that's pretty interesting.
Well, that short happens to be the second best Marvel thing ever made because it also contains a small cameo from Justin Hammer. And the only reason it's not the best thing is because it has less Justin Hammer than Iron Man 2.
Right.
But still, significantly more than anything else. So it is very, very good. I think it's, it makes sense because it would be really weird if the whole 10 Rings organization that kidnapped Tony Stark in 2007
right
was just or 2008 or whatever, was a front created by Aldrich Killian to the U.S. Yeah, it wouldn't make any sense. I think the most interesting for me is that the rings are not rings that go on your fingers. They're rings that go on your arms.
Well, we call this bracelets.
That's true.
Oh, you call them bracelets if they go on your wrist.
Yeah,
if they go around like your upper arms, then they're like armbands.
Yeah, they're. I don't know if it's. I mean, I'm sure there's a term for the weapon. It's pretty much my only frame of reference for that is Kung Fu Hustle, where the guy puts the metal rings on his arm and does kung fu with them. But I don't know. It's probably a real thing
for something like that.
Yeah,
like a bangle. It's
pretty cool. And I bet it'll be cool in this.
Yeah, I wonder how true it'll stay to, like, what the powers are. Like, is it just make you strong, or is it going to be, like, one is lightning, one is, metaphysical, blah, blah, blah. Because you can't just make them, like, Infinity Stones again. I think you gotta kind of nerf it. So
and they've even changed them in the movies. Like, they're not consistently the same thing. So I think they'll, like, really just be whatever.
Right.
I don't expect any consistency.
To not be as much of a racist caricature as your original character.
Yes,
that's it.
How
does.
did you know?
He eats that one as the movie begins. Fu Manchu eats it into a million pieces, and then digests it into his bloodstream. I mean, I don't know. It seems like it would be cool. I'm excited for it. I knew it would be cool, kind of, but I was like waiting for it to prove itself to me, kind of. Not prove itself, but I was waiting for it to show up. And really be like a thing,
Yeah, of course.
And yeah, it's really good. So yeah, your martial arts. We got this.
Woo!
We got Mortal Kombat. We got Shang-Chi. We got the Karate Kid show, Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
That started this year. Apparently, there's a show called Warrior that I'm supposed to watch.
That started a while ago.
Yeah, well, it started.
There was
the
a new
first season
season.
started on January 1st. So Like the third season,
This-
the new season, excuse me.
Yeah,
Yes.
because
Okay.
Netflix picked it up after something called, I think, YouTube V.
That's
They
right.
had it, so I don't
It
even
was
remember
just
the name.
YouTube Red.
I think it was YouTube Red at the time, but
No,
who
no,
can even know?
That's a different website entirely that you shouldn't know about.
Well, I got nothing to say about that. Where was I going with this? Oh, right. And then there's, Matrix and all kinds of cool stuff coming out. So, very good stuff. But we have to talk about another movie today instead of that good one.
Yeah.
We have to talk about a bad one. Maybe not a good one, though. Maybe not a bad one. Maybe a good one.
Maybe the best movie we've ever talked about.
Nope.
Yeah.
It's not that.
It's very possible.
Promise.
We're talking about Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Ooh.
Yeah.
This is a movie that came out in 1997. That's all I got. I don't know the rest of the things about it.
It was. Yeah, I agree. It came out in 1997. This is a movie that exists.
It was a
Imagine
sequel
seeing this in a
to
theater.
Mortal
Oh my
Kombat.
god.
Yep, which in hindsight, maybe a certain co-host shouldn't have dragged the original Mortal Kombat so much, because it's really going to take the sting out of any, potential drag of another movie. So, maybe
That's right, everybody.
Hedge.
It's time for everybody's favorite segment. It's DJ's Walk Back of Shame.
Oh, come on.
DJ, can you tell us how wrong you were?
Maybe we'll get to it when we talk about this. But I was super wrong. Mortal Kombat's a good movie. I'm sorry for dragging it. I enjoyed Mortal Kombat so much more, and I'm sorry I was wrong. My bad. I fucked up.
Incredible. Everyone send that tweet right to what's his name?
To who?
I don't know. The guy from what's the name
We
of the
don't
guy
even
that
know what we're telling people to tweet anymore.
No, yeah. Who's that guy that makes these movies? Paul W.S. Anderson. Let him know.
Oh.
Let Ed Boon know, too. Let them all know that you liked Mortal Kombat and not to listen to the rest of this.
Yes,
Because
yes.
then they might think we don't like it, which, I don't know. It's hard
No,
to say.
like huge Mortal Kombat fans. I think we all could agree Mortal Kombat was a movie that came out and is good.
Yeah.
Well, Paul W.S. Anderson didn't direct this one. If
No,
I
he
remember
did not.
correctly.
It was
Apparently he's
John
not a
R.
huge-
Leonetti.
Yeah, not a huge fan of this one, shockingly.
Really? I can't imagine why not.
Yeah. But let's talk about it. Mortal Kombat
Let's.
Annihilation. It's a good movie. We all know it. The question is it so bad that it's good? And
Well,
I think the question is, Nando, what's the IMDb?
Yeah, we got to do that.
that's not a question I get to ask these days.
Well, you could still ask it and not be the.
That's true.
I feel like you have that right.
As long as I have the right, then, guys, what do you think the IMDb summary for this movie is?
All right, so what do you guys think the IMDb summary is for this?
Oh my god! This is
Wow.
This is like I am Christopher Lambert, and then DJ is some other guy, and I started doing the thing, and then I just got replaced with some other guy.
Okay. All right, Nando.
Oh, God.
Since you were the guy here last week, you get to pick whether you want to go first or second, and I'll do my part, but you just tell me to go first or second.
I will go second. I need a second to think about this.
All right, so Diggins will get to go first. So, for the both of you, it is one sentence, and I cannot overemphasize its simplicity. And that's all I'm going to give you.
All right. A group of Earth's mightiest warriors must prevent an evil emperor from merging his realm with ours.
Okay, Nando.
Okay. Oh God, that's pretty good. The only thing I'll add is you know what? I'll go even like more general. A group of warriors from Earth defend the planet from evil fighters.
Oh. I'm going to give it to Nando.
Really?
Honestly, Diggins, you just said too much. It
Wow, I
really
said too
was. So I'm going to read it, and I think Nando captured just how nothing this summary is. And look, I guess you could appeal if you think this is wrong. I don't know exactly what the rules are, but here it is. A group of martial arts warriors have only 6 days to save the Earth from an extra-dimensional invasion.
Oh yeah.
That's it.
I was going to say the 6 days thing, but then you said it was simple.
So
I dropped that. I'm not blaming you. I'm just upset at
Okay.
myself.
I forgot about the 6 days
'Cause
thing, but it is
honestly-
because of Bible, right?
Yeah, because the Earth was made in
Well,
6 days.
listen, it seems like it's because of Bible, but then it seems like it's just a thing.
And also, I can't see 6 days passing over the course of this movie.
Absolutely not. This movie takes place over the course of like 2 hours time.
Yeah, like it's mostly in real time. I don't understand that. I mean, maybe we just show up on, like, maybe he's like, it'll take me 6 days to conquer the world, and then like 2 hours later they all show up and they're like, we're gonna fight you now, and then he
Yeah, it's
dies
like,
or
okay.
whatever, and then it's like, well, 5 days early, way to go.
So I will say, Diggins, obviously, had you said 6 days, that would have clinched it. I thought it was overly simple, but, my fault for perhaps misguiding. But, I can't believe how bare bones this is. Nando, congratulations. You get
Thank you. Back
go
on
next
top.
week. We've really been, like, switching out who does it, so I guess that's nice.
Well, I mean, the very structure of it guarantees that we will switch out who does it every week.
Well, I guess I mean in terms of, like, it's not like Diggins, this was your second week in a row.
Yeah,
of
no
playing
one
the
has been in
game.
the doghouse for all that long.
Yeah, so like that's
So-
the nice part, is that we've all kind of gone through rotating, and maybe that's like the weird implicit biases that play into this judging. Not for me, of course. I'm the most non-biased person ever. But so Nando, you get to kick us off as your
okay.
reward for what did you think of Mortal Kombat Annihilation?
Mortal Kombat Annihilation. You have to really land on the K.
You got it. That's the
is-
emphasis.
Like, it's so weird. I found myself when things started and when it was like the things that the beginning of the movie, I think, shows off a lot of the movie's worst qualities in terms of the effects and the acting and the, karate sometimes. And for a part of me, I was like, is this movie, and that was the big question, going to be so bad that it's good? Is it going to be so engaging that I'm going to be able to recommend it to people? And I have to say, probably not. I think this movie is quite boring, and also it's like super short but like, and I think we talked about how short movies are good, and I think there's definitely things that can be cut out of this movie. There also appear to be things that were cut out of this movie, or like whole parts where I'm like, did I miss something?
I know, right?
Like a lot of
I think
things.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
So there's two. One thing we get into, and I'm like, where was this? Where did this come from? And then the other thing, by the end of the movie, I'm like, oh yeah, we never did this. And I feel like it's weird for a movie to do that, but also, yeah, I mean, as a Mortal Kombat fan, I cannot co-sign this either. Because apart from doing one thing that's kind of cool as a like, oh yeah, that's for Mortal Kombat, almost all the rest of this is like just a bunch of nonsense.
Yeah.
It kind of gets at the heart of Mortal Kombat, which is like the lore is silly, but also it doesn't quite take itself seriously enough to work as silly lore. I don't know. It's really a weird balance. They make a big mistake 5 minutes into the movie that they are never able to recover from. I'll say that's probably.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
like
the
they
biggest
try.
mistake of the movie, probably.
Absolutely, yeah. I think like the way this movie is built, you do that with a different guy. We'll talk about it anyway. Yeah, not a huge fan.
Yes.
Love the first one. I'm really excited for the new one. I saw the first scene; it looks very promising, but I just cannot with this one. It's so weird. That's all I got.
Okay, Diggins.
So, I think the best way to experience Mortal Kombat Annihilation is, if this doesn't already exist, I'm sure it does somewhere, but if it doesn't, would be for someone to make a greatest hits compilation where you can just see all the weirdest scenes, the bad CGI, and the most just bananas inhuman line reads.
Mm-hmm.
Get like a 10-20 minute compilation of that stuff, and you're good. Because there is a lot of like really crazy, like I can't believe this made it into a professional production style stuff in this movie that is really fun in how bad it is.
Yep.
But Nando's right. There's not enough of it to sustain an hour and a half worth of interest. It's kind of, I would say it's like a 90-minute episode of Power Rangers, but even that feels a little too
That's a
kind.
good comp.
It's more like a 90-minute episode of the Mystic Warriors of Tir Nanog.
Oh my god. What a weird frame of reference.
I gotta know what that is. How you spell that?
It's the Mystic War. I'm assuming you know how to spell Mystic Warriors and of.
Yeah, it's the last part.
TIR space NA space NOG. It was it was like a Power Rangers ripoff. I say ripoff. It was by the same production company.
You said
The
it's
American
Mystic
production
Knights
company.
of Cernunnog. Is that it?
Oh, Mystic Knights.
Yeah.
I am so sorry, everybody. I can't
It does
believe-
look like that.
It
looks-
it was just the same production company. I think Saban just took more footage from Japanese shows and filmed
Diggins,
American
this-
stuff to put over it. But it's worse than Power Rangers.
Diggins, these costumes look way too good to be from this Mortal Kombat movie. These have way too much detail and are cool.
So much work was put into them.
Well, remember the Japanese the scenes of like fighting
That's
are
true,
from
yeah.
Japanese shows, from people who cared about them. I'm talking about the interstitials, the bulk and skull scenes.
Right.
That's the quality we're dealing with here.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Oh, man. DJ, what about you? What'd you think of this bad boy?
So I had concerns because Diggins texted us. I believe Nando and I had already watched, and so Diggins had texted us with one of those insane line reads, and he's like, "This movie's magical." But then the mistake happens, and then Diggins is out, and I feel like that's a reasonable experience to have with this movie. I had seen this movie. God, I can't even remember when. Long time ago, and I knew about the horrible thing, which I'm sure we'll talk about shortly, because again, it's not a huge spoiler because it happened so early in, but I think it's the crazy thing is I feel like such a dumbass for what I said about Mortal Kombat last week, because like at least Mortal Kombat, that movie, it's like, okay, we're going to take the premise of the game and we'll fashion it into a kind of tournament for a movie with some extra gaggy stuff, and it'll mostly work. Whereas this movie, the premise is we are going to throw away everything from the first movie and put on a display of bullshit because we don't know how to make a movie, but we know how to string some scenes and flippity flips together. So that's the product of this movie, or the product that is this movie, I should say.
Man, Liu Kang does some floaty jumps in this movie.
Raiden? Oh my god. There's a scene where I'll call him like, I don't know, aged Raiden. I don't know what to call him. New Raiden, whatever.
Fake Raiden.
Chill Raiden?
Chill
Cool bro
Raiden.
Raiden?
He is just doing a series of kicks. It's standing to no one.
Oh, I thought you were thinking of something else. There's one kick that he does that's really phenomenal. And that's part of I think what Diggins would describe as like the highlight reel of watch this part.
Yeah, it's so fucking bananas.
I love Sindel's spin kicks personally.
Oh my god. And that's like, the thing is like the only thing, not the only thing, but like the major things to talk about this movie are the fuck ups. We haven't gotten to the CGI yet, but needless to say, this movie is terrible. I don't have to keep harping on it, but I'm real sorry about what I said about Mortal Kombat 1. That is a competent movie. This is a bad movie. It sucks. Don't watch it.
Yeah, it's tricky. It's a shame that this is the one on HBO Max leading up to the new one. Because,
Peacock is like, yes,
right?
we have the superior movie.
They even put an ad for the new Mortal Kombat before
Yeah.
this. Like, it's not even just it came up because they put ads before things and that's coming. Like, I checked the runtime and it is like hard-coded into the runtime. They put it before this movie so everyone will see it if they're about to watch Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
It's so crazy.
And it is like, I think you could, I think I could talk to a friend, someone who hadn't watched these recently, and they were like, hey, I'm going to watch the new Mortal Kombat movie. Should I watch the old ones? And I'd be like, you know what? Watch the original one. It'll be a good time.
Yeah.
And it'll be a fun, like looking back and forward at the, how far we've come. But I also think you'll probably half enjoy it. But I could never do it with this one. I think it would make someone go, never mind, these movies aren't for me. And then they wouldn't see the new one.
Yeah.
This is a bizarre movie.
I think this movie, too, gets at the heart at, I brought this up a little bit next week, but it's so much more prevalent this week, or I guess relevant this week, that, like, everything that fails with video game movies, it's in this. It's like, let's just put the characters in, as many as we could squeeze into this fucking sardine can of a movie, and, just have them do scenes and not worry about plot. And I think this movie fails in all those ways, which are the typical video game failures. Because, like, Mortal Kombat doesn't really fail in those ways. it has some shortcomings, but like it's not as just awful as this movie.
I mean, I think the thing, and I say this having played one Mortal Kombat game recently, which is the new one, but at least with that, they know every guy has to fight 3 guys, right? That's how it works. You do a level, maybe 4, but it's like a Cassie Cage, you go fight a couple guys, and then you watch all the cutscenes and stuff. But like, so you know what you're there for. You're there for the fights, and the cutscenes get you to the fights, but they're both kind of pulling their weight. With this, like, obviously the fights aren't very good, but then also, like, the story minute to minute doesn't make any sense. And the overall story doesn't make any sense. And I feel like the characters in the movie go, you know what? Let's just get this over with. Yeah. Let's just be done. Can we be done?
It's true.
How are we gonna... like, they don't... There's no... Like, there is a story, like, you would assume. But there isn't, though. Right? Like, what's this movie about? What's the story of this movie? Obviously, we tried with IMDb, but it didn't help. But, like, what's going on in this movie?
If I had to say, and I'm going to use a lot of the in-movie terms, and I would, we could clarify later, but basically, Shao Kahn, who was, like, the big bad mentioned from last movie, he decides to come and invade Earthrealm despite the results of Mortal Kombat tournament. Like, what? Yep. And that's the whole movie. And the problem is, it's like there's so many parts of the movie where it could easily be undone. But anyway, getting ahead of myself, that's just the core of this movie. Shao Kahn decides to invade, and now everyone needs to, stop this MacGuffin by doing their own things, right? So everyone gets a little side quest. There's not even a main quest in this movie. I guess maybe Raiden's, but it really feels like everyone gets their own side quests. Let's divide and then meet up at the end. Also, everyone has new failures. Let's ignore the failures that they were supposed to overcome from last movie. Just shut up.
Except for Sonia, who doesn't have any failures.
No, she has a failure.
Exist.
She's a failure.
Does she?
Yeah.
She has the same failure, which she has now ungotten over.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, that's right. Yep. Well, I guess it's more like a problem of, for me, the whole thing with them, with all of these characters, is like you get to the end of the movie and you're like, okay, so what is Sonia actually doing? Like, if Sonia wasn't here, if Jax wasn't here, and if Kitana wasn't here, how would the movie be different? And I don't think it would. I think it's this movie, Liu Kang does a couple of things that are plot important, and that's it. As long as he makes it to the end, he's probably fine. We're all going to be okay.
I mean, I guess I just don't think that anyone's plot is more valid than anyone else's, right? Like, even, like, Liu Kang's thing... I'm sorry, Sonya's thing is as valid as Liu Kang's thing, right? She goes and gets new character to join the fight.
Yeah, but who gives a shit?
But all new character does is fight other new character.
Right. So, like, they're there to fight the goons, but you would imagine if at the end of the movie Liu Kang showed up by himself... was like, Shao Kahn, I'm fighting you in Mortal Kombat, because that's what the gods just said.
Yep.
You have to do.
The gods descended from the heavens and said the fate of the universe will be decided by a sick kung fu fight. Yeah. Which, honestly, if I was a god, that's the kind of thing I would do.
And so if they did that, and then he beats Shao Kahn, it's not like then he either is going to have a problem with or has to go fight, Mataro now. Like, nobody did anything. Nothing in this movie matters.
Yes.
Raiden calls his friends. That's important. But then it's not, because they're like, get fucked, dude. Doesn't matter. Whatever we say, it doesn't really... We're just like kind of ineffectual gods, but also, I don't know. He's really weird.
They kind of just tell him the things he already knew, and then those turn out to not be true, and he's like, the gods lied to me, and then that also doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's like... It doesn't matter twice.
I think we should try to invade Outworld, like us. We should just try. Because I know we're not supposed to because of Mortal Kombat and the rules, but also, I think we can try. I don't think anybody's going to stop us, I mean,
I think the question is, could we? Well, could we roll in some tanks?
I think we could. I've seen this movie. I think it's doable, but that's just me, a normie who can not even do that many backflips. But I still think we could... With, modern technology, we could probably win.
Yeah, I mean, I think the problem with this movie is just everything that goes on just makes the first movie so stupid. And because there's not really a plot to speak of and they just have to fill with nonsense, then, I just feel like there's no way to be invested in this movie, right? Like, every response to anything that happens could say, who gives a fuck? It's like that's what it feels like. So yeah.
Yeah, this is like if Infinity War happened, and at the end of the Infinity War, like the actual movie, they cut off Thanos' hand and he couldn't make the snap, and then Endgame happened after it with no explanation.
Yep.
So we worked so hard and we didn't fail.
He goes
Why?
like, actually, I could think about it, and it happens anyway.
Yeah.
So fuck you.
Sorry, I'm big now.
When they said I could do this with a snap of my fingers, that was just like a rhetorical device, guys. I don't literally need to snap my fingers.
Yeah, it's like a Wizard of Oz scenario. As long as he says there's no place like home, it doesn't really matter whether he gets in the balloon or not. You know. I think. All right, let's talk about this movie.
I guess I don't know how to, but yes.
All right. Well, we have to start where the last movie ends. I think we could do this pretty well because I've laid out all of the fights.
Oh, good.
There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 fights. A couple of them take place at the same time. So the last 4 all take place at the same time. I think most of the rest are kind of split up. So let's say there's 7 fights, or 8 fights, I guess. The movie starts where the last movie left off.
Yeah, like
someone
right after, like immediately. In fact, this happens in the last movie, right? Shao Kahn's like, "Guess what, bitches? I come in anyway. Fuck y'all."
Yep. All the kids are running around with their little blue flags. Everybody's fine, but then also Shao Kahn.
I will say it's funny that we get a little teaser of last time on Mortal Kombat. Not teaser, a little recap of last time on Mortal Kombat
my
of
God.
what goes on, and it sucks.
Which really enhances the Mystic Knights of Tir Nanog energy going on here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't have a frame of reference, but I believe you. So,
well, again, just imagine Power Rangers,
right,
but worse.
Got it. So, that's how we start, right? Can we just say for a quick second, Shao Kahn looks so dumb. The costume is awful. He is not imposing.
When does he look worse? When he is in mask or without mask?
Without mask.
That's hard for me. I actually think he has a little bit of edge out of mask.
Me too.
They're both so bad. I'm going to say in mask. I think the mask is really hurting.
I do too.
No,
I think the mask is...
I could not disagree more.
Really?
The mask is stupid, but when he's not wearing the mask, he's just a guy. He's like a wrestler.
Like Billy Zane
or
WWE like a Vin
wrestler,
Diesel type,
just showing up on screen with a centaur and a 6-armed lady, and I'm like, why is this guy here? I didn't even realize that was supposed to be Shao Kahn for 5 minutes.
They say his name yes, Shao Kahn. And you're like, wait a minute, what?
Well, it's tricky because, right, Mortal Kombat, as far as we know, it's like in 1997, I don't know exactly where all of these characters, if they existed, if they were in games, if they had been mentioned but not played. But, Shao Kahn is a villain of Mortal Kombat.
Yep.
And then there's also Quan Chi, who is a bald sorcerer type. So I could see a movie, not, obviously that's not what this is, but I can see a movie where Shao Kahn is working with Quan Chi, and Quan Chi is what the heck's his name? The other guy.
Shinnok?
No. The sorcerer from last movie.
Shang Tsung?
Shang Tsung. He's Shang Tsung's replacement, and Shao Kahn is Quan Chi, go find me all the fucking whatever is I need. Tread water until the bad guys get all killed, and then I'll show up. But I could see a version of this movie where he hires a bald person to do his bidding, and there's one in Mortal Kombat that kind of fits, but that's not who it is. It's just Shao Kahn is bald. Have we ever in the game seen Shao Kahn without his helmet? Is this a Judge Dredd situation?
Very rarely. He almost always wears it.
Bold of this movie to make that choice, huh? It's we're gonna do it.
It's insane. It's really weird.
Now, I imagine, most live-action superhero movies and things of that nature, you do that because you want the actor to be emoting, and big, silly masks make that hard.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody's doing a good job of that either, so he might as well be wearing the big, silly mask.
Well, this guy, whatever his name is, I don't want to look it up because I can't remember, but Shao Kahn, whatever that actor, Billy Zane, he emotes almost exclusively with his jawline. His jaw. He opens his mouth a lot when he speaks. He's like an animatronic. So, you could get that with the mask or without the mask. I think the mask looks really bad. And I noticed when I was playing Mortal Kombat 11, that Shao Kahn's mask is much smaller. It's, little, which, is what, it kind of follows what a human skull just looks like the face part of it. And it does a better job to show off his features, and it's It's like putting a bouncer in a tight shirt versus a really big, loose-fitting shirt. It makes him look really strong. But with this, he has this big plastic flappy mask that covers most of his face, but not all of it.
Yeah.
But also not enough to hide anything from you. Also, he's a white guy, who's surprised, but still weird. But I guess he's like an elder god, so I don't know. Which is
He's
what
not
Raiden
an elder
is
god. He's a regular god. Like
Oh, yeah, right, sorry.
So,
Yeah.
gods, because you brought it up, I want to talk about the Elder Gods, but I guess it has to wait, right?
Well, okay. So our main characters, Kitana, Liu Kang, hugging, Sonya Blade and Johnny Cage hugging, and Raiden all leave the Temple of Mortal Kombat 1.
Yep.
Walk out into this area that gets overtaken by like black like smoke and lightning effects, and then this sound.
It's actually super accurate.
It's everywhere. This sound, it never stops. And then a bunch of ninjas do little backflips or like front flips into nothing. Like they do the front flips on camera from one side of camera to the other side of camera, and then we just see them land, which is very Power Rangers. And then Shao Kahn appears.
He's not imposing even a little bit. He's not even like super ripped. He's got like gym bod. Maybe in '97 this was so impressive. They didn't have The Rock yet, so I mean, this was just the peak.
Do you remember shirtless Russell Crowe from Robin Hood?
Oh, that's
that
right.
That was the regular level of ripped back then. So I will say, by that standard, this Shao Kahn is pretty jacked.
Okay, fair enough. It does not age well, but nothing of this movie ages well.
Like, I think we obviously, in the last maybe 10 years, we have raised the standard to an insane level for what we expect from just some Hollywood actor.
To an unhealthy level.
Absolutely, yeah. But the thing is, and I think this is true of most of the characters in this movie, save for one, and this is, costuming would take care of this. We don't need to see his bare chest. He could just have a big giant outfit on. Like, I know sometimes he has it, but like, he could just be whatever. He's like
true.
Emperor of Outworld. He can have a cape and a big giant, suit. He doesn't need to have his whole body exposed.
And even so for the mask, because like the mask exposes too much of his face, he should just like be. It should be totally covering his entire face. Like it's just a big like knight's helmet, like full metal everything.
Like Shredder or something.
Yes, exactly. That should be the look.
Definitely feels like Shredder, but like not as good. But like that's what he's going for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he shows up, and who is in tow? What supporting characters are we introduced to in this scene?
So we have I can't even remember the mom's name. So
well, we'll get to her later, but there's a bunch of others. So
I'm gonna see if I can do this from memory.
Yeah, go for it.
Who's in that scene? I think it is Motaro.
Motaro for sure.
Shiva.
Yep, Shiva.
Rain.
Correct.
I think because the robots aren't in this one. It's only the human ninjas. So I think Ermac is there too.
Yes, those are the four. However, I'm not quite sure what the movie thinks Ermac is or how Ermac works in this movie because
he's just a dude, and sometimes there's two of him.
Well, apparently the second one of him is Cybot or something. Like, so I looked this up and I still having trouble with this one. It appears that like Cybot is maybe he summons Cybot. I don't know.
Wait, so he doesn't do like that thing he does at the end isn't like a shadow clone. He actually summons Noob Saibot?
I think so. Because he is in this. And yeah, I can't think about where else he would go. Because there's lots of other characters, lots of other ninjas and like mini bosses that will show up. So I'll make sure about this. But yeah, that is the crew. Mataro, for people that don't know. Well, okay. The easy ones real quick. So Ermac, red ninja. Rain, bluish gray ninja. What's the deal with Shiva?
She's just a six-armed lady.
She is a Shokin, like Goro from the last movie, which means she got arms. She got more arms than the normal number of arms for a person.
As the kids would say, arms for days.
That's right. 2 days. after
Yeah,
the
that's true.
amount of
Arms for
arms.
2
If
days.
one day is 2 arms, then 2 days. She also has, instead of being like a full CGI, not CGI, but like puppetry creature, she's like just a person with green screen 2 arms extra. Like, we don't see her do anything. She doesn't have a fight later.
Nope.
She just gets crushed to death, which is hilarious. So I looked this up. So Ermac double teams Sonya with his shadowy counterpart, Noob Saibot, at the end of the movie, according to the
Wow.
Mortal Kombat wiki. Yeah.
Wow.
In no way does that come across. But then also, I was paying attention because they completely changed his lore for this movie, so I didn't know that this character was supposed to be who they are until the very end, which is the first time anyone says the word Shinnok.
Yes. Well, I mean, I would say they didn't even try with that guy to make him look like Shinnok. Or I wonder.
Well, he doesn't look like Shinnok. He doesn't have Shinnok's lore, and nobody says the word Shinnok until the very end of the movie when someone says it after he's already defeated.
Do you think Shinnok existed in the game in that form? Like, do you think he could have just been some random dude, and then, like, maybe after this movie came out in the games, they made him look like Steppenwolf? Like, they figured it out? Justice League Steppenwolf? Because, like, I feel like I could see a version of this where the people that were writing this movie just got a script and it was like, and then Shinnok, the main villain, evil as can be, you wouldn't even believe it, look at him. And they just, kind of made an old evil guy.
Well, I think Shinnok already existed when this movie came out, didn't he?
Maybe. I don't know. I know he is supposed to be kind of the Thanos of this universe, a little bit at least.
He is a former Elder God who in the old timeline.
So his first appearance was in Mortal Kombat Mythologies: Sub-Zero, a PlayStation game from 1997, the year this movie came out. So I wouldn't be surprised if they just had no idea what this guy was supposed to look like.
Possibly.
And also, even though that is his first appearance, I'm not positive if he even was in it. Like, if he looked like a guy, or if he just, was some sort of shadowy figure in the background. But anyway, yeah, so you got Shinnok. Oh, yeah, never mind. He actually looks like he usually looks like. He doesn't look anything like this guy. The guy in the movie is just a guy. It's pretty weird.
Yeah. So that is
and then
that's the crew for
oh wait, we didn't do Mataro, or did we?
Right.
Oh, no.
Well, we didn't we just go over. Mataro is a centaur who's got a big dumb scorpion tail.
Yeah. That is his whole character. He's got a little bit of
but
edge
he's
to
also
him, but nah.
he's also got like a he's a centaur, but he also kind of looks like he would be in like The Sopranos somewhere. He's got a look to him that I think is very strange for centaur. And then leading them is who? Diggins.
Well,
can you explain who she is?
She's not leading them yet. She's only appointed general later.
Yeah.
Sure, but she is revealed to be like she stands in front of them. Yeah.
The surprise character is Sindel, who is Kitana's mother.
Oh.
But she's dead.
Wait, can we do it?
She is dead.
Can we do the thing? I'll be Katana.
Yeah, Diggins,
you
can
be...
you say the thing?
Okay.
Oh, God. So this was the line read that made me text them going, this movie's incredible, because it is the most baffling line read I've ever seen.
So Zindel shows up, and Katana goes, "Mother, you're alive."
And then Sindel says, "Too bad you will die."
It might have even been a longer pause than that. Like,
It's a really
I'm
long
honestly
pause.
like, I'm not even capturing. You have to look up that scene on YouTube because it is incredible.
Yeah, it's right in the beginning. I want to say it's about 4 minutes into the movie. It comes in at 3.5 minutes in.
oh my god.
And it is, she walks out in like a little
Like, it's like a
bathing
dress.
suit kind of thing or something.
Well,
yeah, she looks like she's hitting the gym.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
she
like she's going to a gym, like she's dressed for, to go to a gym and glow. In the 80s times.
She was the queen of a realm called Edenia.
That's right.
That Shao Kahn conquered, and he forced her and Katana to be like his family, which is kind of weird. I don't know why he did that.
Well, it's weird. I guess, so from what I understand, I did read up a little bit on Mortal Kombat lore, although I tried to skip 11 because that's the one I'm playing now. Edenia straight up lost Mortal Kombat 10 times in a row. Like, they are the cautionary tale for how we should not lose Mortal Kombat 10 times in a row. And they were kind of like heaven-ish and then they got conquered by Shao Kahn in Outworld. And I want to say he killed Sindel or brainwashed her or something. However,
Well, I think she may have killed herself to not be under Shao Kahn's control,
that might be right.
but he prevented her soul from leaving Outworld because that's a thing he can do, I guess.
So then she became like a villainess who kicks around, and like does villainous things. She runs around. She has this really awful scream. And it's revealed later in Mortal Kombat games that she has actually been evil the whole time, which is very strange. I don't know how that fits into the pre-established lore of like the original games, but it doesn't really make a difference here.
It kind of doesn't, but who's really, checking that hard?
Yeah. And she's like one of his generals. So it's actually a pretty good, it's not a great fight, but they've got 6 guys counting Shao Kahn, and we've got 5 guys counting Lord Raiden.
Yes.
We got this in the bag. Right? No problem.
Totally.
Except Shao Kahn's the best.
What does he do?
Well, so they're like, first of all, they're like bitching. They're like, we won. What's your deal? And Shao Kahn's like, I don't give a fuck even a little bit. And Raiden's
I wouldn't say bitching. I would say they're legitimately confused.
That's fair.
That's
fair.
I'm sorry, we just did this. I don't know if anybody told you, but I won the Mortal Kombat. I'm not the other guy.
Yeah.
I'm
the
good guy.
That's fair. It should have been like, we won, right? And so Raiden's trying to tell Shao Kahn, what are you doing, Shao Kahn? It's ridiculous. So Raiden is able to like block off with his lightning powers the other goons in Shao Kahn's like his goon squad, and Johnny Cage is like, I got this, and he does signature flying kick with some horrible after effects put onto it. Like that's when oh no, this movie.
Well, that's like a remnant of Johnny Cage. That kind of is an like effort to make him look like he does in the video game.
But they didn't do it in the first movie.
I know. No, it's very weird. Also, that's not Johnny Cage, DJ. Johnny Cage is played by, I want to find his name, some other guy. This is, who gives a fuck? A Johnny Cage type, I guess, is what I would describe this character as.
I guess we should mention that none of the original actors are here except for Liu Kang, so...
Not true. Talisa Soto as
Katana, you're right, and Katana.
Yeah, those two did save... They managed to save them. They replaced all the weird white people with different weirder white people.
Right?
Very strange.
So Johnny Cage is like, I got this. So he tries to do his like cool kick at Shao Kahn, and Shao Kahn just like, I forget if he like catches him or just like punches him down, but he basically fucks up Johnny Cage pretty bad.
Well, at that point, Johnny Cage, so Shao Kahn has captured Sonya Blade, Johnny Cage's new love interest, and then Johnny Cage tries to save with a big kick, but yeah, gets punched down. Do you remember visual shorthand how we know Johnny Cage is about to die?
I don't.
His sunglasses fall off and hit the ground in slow motion.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, his spirit is about to leave his body big time.
By the way, I know Nando totally like tipped our hand there, but yeah, Johnny Cage dies. And,
it's such
Johnny Cage eats it super hard.
It's so fucking stupid.
It's the mistake that
he goes out like a punk.
Not like Johnny Cage would go out.
No.
And it's weird because so Shao Kahn has Johnny Cage, and Raiden's like, Shao Kahn goes, Raiden, stop or I kill him, and Raiden wasn't immediately like, all right, I stop. He was like still kind of like, you don't want to kill him, so don't. And Shao Kahn's like, well, I guess I'm gonna kill this guy now. Like,
oh my god,
no,
DJ, did you watch this one? This is DJ level stuff. So
what? That's like basically
Shao Kahn
happens.
Shao Kahn gets Johnny Cage in his headlock.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I'll kill him. And then Raiden goes, I'll take your generals then. And that's when he puts all the bad guys in like a chokehold. And then Shao Kahn's like, you would never let me kill one of your earthlings. And then Raiden's like, you're right. And then Shao Kahn kills Johnny Cage like for fun.
But like I would still categorize that as Raiden doesn't play ball with Shao Kahn. Like,
well, he totally does, because Raiden says, okay, let Johnny go, and I'll be your prisoner.
Yes.
And Shao Kahn says, all right, bow before me. And Raiden takes down his force field that could kill all 4 of these guys, I guess. Pretty useful power. You should probably use that more often.
I know, right?
And then Shao Kahn's like, ha, idiot, you actually believe me? And he snaps Johnny Cage's neck.
Yeah, it's pretty good, except for it ruins the movie. But, like, it's a cool way to kill him. Do you think if they got the actor for Johnny Cage back, they would have done this?
I don't know. I mean,
I don't
they were
I'm
fine
convinced.
keeping. I mean, the new actor for Johnny Cage looks way more like the old actor for Johnny Cage than the new actor for Sonya Blade looks like.
Yeah, I was actually kind of fooled
actress.
by the Johnny Cage
So-
actor.
I guess you need Sonya. Like, you got to keep Sonya because she's the only one that knows Jax. It would be weird if Johnny Cage was like, "Hey, you're Jax, right? I think you might be want to. I don't know, man. We don't know each other. Some girl. It's complicated." But I guess you need, if Sonya's going to stay around, then you get Jax. But I do feel like there's a version of this movie where Johnny Cage is still there or something. I don't know who you kill. I don't think you kill anybody.
Is it bad that I say Sonya? Well, wait, no, for the Jax thing. Fuck.
I think you could kill Liu Kang. That'd be kind of cool.
I don't know, the guy who won Mortal Kombat. And then who?
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, who taps into their animality?
No one, because it's stupid. I never liked animalities. I hate him in this movie.
Someone has to tap.
Just have Nightwolf show up and be friends. Where'd he go?
He does represent Earthrealm in Mortal Kombat 3. I think Nightwolf is like our rep for Mortal Kombat.
I mean, I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, like, but like, I don't know, can you have a rando be the new hero? Like, no, right? So it's got to be
Not one.
I mean, listen, here's what you do. Liu Kang gets killed, and we're like, oh no. And Raiden says, well, there's only one other descendant of the great Kung Lao. We have to go find him now. And then we actually get a Kung Lao in one of these movies.
Yeah,
that would be great.
That would be great.
As to who you kill, now that I think about it, just fucking kill Raiden. Why not?
I mean,
It's pretty badass if he goes down. He doesn't handhold the humans as much as the first one. He goes to do like the equivalent of the Thor Adventures in Ultron.
the pool.
That's like basically what he goes to do. So
yeah.
you probably kill Raiden.
Although, hey, doing that does get him a wardrobe change into some Aladdin threads.
And a fucking haircut and dye.
Yeah.
A lot dye DYE. Yeah.
Both.
God.
He gets dye as well.
He does
Yes,
get
he
dye
does
as
get
well.
some new.
So we get a teeny tiny fight between Raiden and Shao Kahn. This is fight 1, in case anybody wants to keep track. I promise they'll come quicker than this. It doesn't really nothing happens. They both shoot lightning at each other or whatever. Shao Kahn has Doctor Strange circle powers.
Yes.
He throws little magic circles at you. Kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean,
Although I don't think he does it again after this.
He does it later in the movie. I think it's how he, spoiler alert, maybe kills Raiden.
he
with one
shoots
of
him
them.
with, like, not a gun, but, like, a green, like, orb. It's not a beam. It's like an orb. It's just like a green orb that Raiden takes right in the chest. Fucking
Yeah, it's
insta-kill.
like how Doctor Strange does those little circles of, like, geometry.
Those,
That's what I'm
yeah,
thinking.
I'm
Like
sorry,
that's what he
yeah,
appears to do in this movie. Besides, he has a hammer that he doesn't really use that much either.
He hits the table with it. That table takes it like
Yeah,
a champ.
that's true.
It's fucking wrecked.
It's cool. It's a good table. So Johnny Cage dies. He gets put on a little table. Speaking of tables,
It's almost like a monument.
that part's weird.
Because it raises up.
A monument,
Like-
yeah, that grows around the body of Johnny Cage
Yeah.
for some reason.
It goes like 10
Yeah.
feet off the ground. Mm-hmm. And more. I thought, and again, like, I remember the death distinctly. I'm like, he doesn't come back. But I thought, like, I don't know, a way you could do this is, like, when Raiden's giving everyone their mission for what they have to go do, which is really just Liu Kang and Sonya. Well, it's like Liu Kang with Katana and then Sonya. And like one of them is like, instead of Sonya going to find Jax, like, Sonya, I need you to find this rare flower, and if I can get it within 24 hours, I can revive Johnny Cage. Like,
Right.
something
Or like
stupid like that.
some sort of random sorcerer character. Find Nightwolf, who can give you some sort of magic that you can use to bring people back from the dead or something.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
but they don't do that. Johnny
Or
Cage is
maybe-
dead,
well-
and he's still sitting there to this day, I would assume.
Probably.
Yeah.
Minus
This
the
little
cat.
few-
So
Beautiful
is
statue.
his like 6 days decomposed corpse like hanging out at the temple at the end of the movie?
I mean, unless the ninjas did anything with it, I don't. They never go back. I guess they go back to that temple, right?
At the end, because,
Yeah.
but by then it's like merged with Outland, so it's not exactly the same
That's
place.
true.
But then when they win, it becomes unmerged, and it's all the way it was before. So presumably Johnny Cage's body would be there if no one's moved it.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe somebody took it.
Maybe.
I can't think of who.
Maybe-
I'm trying to
maybe
think of a
some-
character. I don't know.
Maybe some big, horrible looking CGI monster ate his body.
Yeah, probably. That's how you get rid of characters in this movie. So then,
either that or nothing.
Or
the two things that get rid of characters.
yeah, or editing. You edit to another scene and then they're gone forever. So Raiden and the guys retreat. They go downstairs. He does electricity and breaks a big wall, and then they're safe. So there are three main characters: Sonia, Katana, Liu Kang, and then Raiden, the boss, are there. And Sonia's like, "What the fuck is going on?" And Raiden's like, "I don't know, man. Whatever. Let's just do another movie,
we
okay?
gotta deal with this shit, man. We
don't ask questions.
Decide. And it's crazy, right? That's like his explanation for the whole thing is, I guess he gets to invade Earthrealm now. I'm gonna go talk to the Elder Gods and be like, the fuck?
Yeah. So what does he tell Liu Kang to do?
He's like, Liu Kang, you have to like learn to be alone? He doesn't mention animality to Liu Kang. I don't think so.
I think he says you have to
tells them that they gotta go. They gotta like gather all the warriors, so they have to go find Nightwolf.
But Nightwolf doesn't come to join the fight, and I don't think that was ever.
Yeah, DJ, the movie doesn't make sense.
Okay, well, fair enough.
So that's what he tells Liu Kang. Katana goes with him because they're in love. What does he tell Sonya?
He also says that Katana is like the key to stopping this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which she isn't really, but sure. What does he tell Sonya?
You have to learn to not be alone. Like, you need companions. So go get Jax, you fuck.
Yeah, go find your partner, Jax.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first thing that okay.
You gotta talk about the balls.
You guys, I have a question. Yeah, we have a game set on Earth, but it's fun. Part of the fun of any fighting game is we travel from location to location really quickly, assuming so that we're in different places and we're not just in like New York City every time.
Right.
I've always played these games and wondered, how did they get there in such a short amount of time? What's the answer to that? Apparently
the answer is they get in these little like ball cages, and there's these tunnels, I guess, within the Earth. It's not quite the Hollow Earth theory.
Hollow Earth.
Hollow Earth.
It's back, baby.
This place takes place in the legendary MonsterVerse.
Yeah.
This new Mortal Kombat is leading up to a crossover with Godzilla and Kong.
Oh my god. Animalities will... Oh, it's perfect. Yeah.
So, it's weird because... Like, these seem like pre-dug tunnels, and so what these little balls and cages do, they're on rails, and it uses, like, the heat from the Earth's magma to, like, have them, like, float when they're not in the tunnels, so when you shoot out of one tunnel, you have to lean and then go into the other tunnel to get where you gotta go. Otherwise, I assume you would die. And they crush it, honestly, for never having done it before. And his fucking bananas doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah, Katana really springs it on Liu Kang. It's like, hold left, and then they don't hit a wall. But yeah, it's these little hamster balls. It doesn't keep you upright. You just fucking get thrown around like an idiot the whole time, I assume.
There's no room for error. It's not like the hole is much bigger than the ball. The ball is the exact size of the tunnel.
Wait a second, guys. Did Elon Musk steal this idea?
Oh, son of a bitch.
He made his stupid tunnel of death.
That's how you get from DC to New York in an hour or whatever.
The boring machine or whatever it's called. Yeah. But so, okay. So Liu Kang and Kitana go to somewhere.
Yeah.
They don't go to Nightwolf. They go to, like, a cave or some shit.
I guess it's a cave on the way to Nightwolf.
Yeah.
Like, maybe it's part of this Hollow Earth underground transit system. They have to stop at this, like station.
They have a layover in Mantle or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where we get Fight 2. This is Liu Kang versus, do you guys remember?
Oh, shit.
Scorpion with an assist from Sub-Zero.
That's the third fight is Sub-Zero versus Scorpion. There's actually
you're right. No, first he fights, I want to say this one is Sector? No, it's Smoke.
It would appear to be Sector, but it is Smoke. That's right. He comes in as Smoke, but like in like a puff of smoke, so that makes sense. But then when you see him, he looks like Sector, but it's not. It is someone does say, like you said, Smoke after Liu Kang. While that's going on,
in a clever homage to the original games, Sector and Smoke are clearly the same costume, just painted differently in this movie.
And then Kitana fights some goons.
Yep.
She... well, okay, the Smoke Liu Kang fight, I don't really remember anything. It's fine.
That interesting happens.
Yeah. The Kitana goons fight, we are introduced to Kitana's weapons. Katanas, right? One would assume. Her namesake. Why not? You know?
No,
No.
Does she have big chunky knives? Is that what it is? Because that's what it looks like.
Big chunky wavy knives.
Oh, those are pretty cool.
You want to know something about these big chunky wavy knives, Nando?
What is it?
You can make the movie stutter a little bit, and then suddenly they become fans.
Yeah, they do.
Love
oh my god, just like
movies.
Princess Kitana has in the movies or in the game. Amazing. They're not. Yeah,
Yes.
they're barely used, but they are there.
We get to say hello to these weapons and then immediately say goodbye.
Yeah, grand opening, grand closing for the fan knife things. It's pretty wild.
It's not fair.
Also, this is where we get introduced to the robots in these movies. So we'll see this a little bit later. They all have little holes in their tummies that open up very slowly and fire something. In this, Smoke fires a missile out of his little hole in his tummy. Another villain will fire something even sillier out of his. But yeah, and then Kitana has her fight, which is cool, kind of. I mean, it's fine. But yeah, those stupid knives, man. You figure they'd be cool because they'd be fans, but they're just these humongous knives, and then she just fans them out once at the very end, and then they're done.
She doesn't even chop a dude's head off. Such a
Yeah.
waste. Oh, fuck this movie.
It's not a good movie.
Well, I believe this movie, like the first one, is PG-13, right?
Oh yeah, so PG-13. It's not even funny.
Yeah. Although we don't even get our one fuck for our.
I don't think it was not very common practice to take the MPAA up on that until recently.
Oh really? Oh.
I mean, I said it plenty of times throughout the movie, constantly.
Fuck.
Yeah. Do you guys remember how they kill Smoke? How Smoke is defeated?
No, but it doesn't mean I didn't see the movie.
Doesn't Sub-Zero freeze him?
Yeah, he freezes him, and then they kick his corpse down into a pit.
The big hole.
Yeah. So Sub-Zero shows up in this.
Yeah,
But guys,
with no
Sub-Zero is dead.
Or is he?
Or is
No.
he? What's the
That was my
explanation there?
brother.
It's so satisfying. You'll never
It's
believe
his
it.
brother, right?
Yep.
What the fuck?
To be fair, that is exactly what happened in the games. Sub-Zero 1 dies in the first game, and every other appearance by Sub-Zero is his younger brother.
That's right.
Well, I guess good
Now,
job.
the Scorpion we meet, I assume is Scorpion,
Yeah?
right?
But he's dead.
I mean, he's just a skeleton filled with magma, so I guess as long as you put it back together, it still works.
That makes sense.
Well, when Johnny Cage died, he came back to life, because when your killer is killed, that undoes your murder.
That makes sense.
I mean, that sounds about right. This guy also has a scar for some reason.
You Sub-Zero, you mean?
Yeah, the
He
Sub-Zero.
probably
scar.
had a badass
He's got-
fight and it gave him a scar.
Yeah. Now, you might be thinking, wow, not only would ice powers be really useful on this adventure, but I'm interested to see the tension between, because they directly call out that Liu Kang killed the original Sub-Zero, this guy's brother. So it'd be interesting character tension to have the good Sub-Zero now with them, knowing that he's working with his brother's killer.
Right.
I'm interested to see how that plays out over the course of the rest of the movie.
Well, fuck you, Diggins.
Well, lucky you, because Sub-Zero is about to make a bridge, and then they're all going to walk over it as a group, and then go to the next place, right?
Yeah,
And that's the only logical explanation.
Right, and that's why they need Sub-Zero. They're like, we can't do this without you, Sub-Zero. You need to use your powers to help us. And what he does is make a bridge that, literally 2 minutes later, a bridge over a gap that Liu Kang easily jumps over.
Yeah, it's not like our heroes use that bridge. It's destroyed before they can. Also, in this movie, Sub-Zero has 2 whips now that are sentient for some reason.
You mean Scorpion?
Or, sorry, Scorpion, excuse me. Yeah.
Maybe every time he dies, he gets a new sentient whip.
Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah, their fight is not great. The masks somehow got bigger. Scorpion's mask in this movie is humongous.
It is so big. Do you think it's a lot of CGI assistance?
No, I think it's just a giant prop. Like, his costume is just, it's huge.
I mean, I guess he's not in the movie long enough for it to matter. He didn't have to shoot
Yeah.
that many scenes, so
That's true.
there's that.
and then they do a little fight, and that's the end of them. So there you go, fight 3.
Boom.
Done.
We're checking them off.
We're flying through this movie.
I want to point out that it's not like Scorpion and Sub-Zero fight and then like fall off a cliff together, or Sub-Zero goes off, chases Scorpion off. Scorpion kidnaps Kitana and brings her back to Shao Kahn, presumably, because that's the next place we see her. And then Liu Kang and Sub-Zero are just standing around like, well, what are we going to do now? And then they move to another scene, and Sub-Zero never shows up again. That's his last appearance in the movie.
Yep, and Scorpion I don't think we'll ever see again either.
Yes, that's the last time Scorpion or Sub-Zero show up in this movie.
It's like they lost the rights to the characters halfway through filming. They just died on the way to their home planet like Poochie. Well, and he does just disappear as if like it never happened. Like he like turns around and he Batmans away. And it's like, wait a second.
It's not like later Liu Kang is like looking at another gap that he could probably jump over, but is feeling lazy, and it's like, I wish Sub-Zero was here.
Yeah. That'd be great.
If only I was the leg-focused guy. Maybe I could jump real far.
Yeah. So we check in on Sonia. Speaking of robot parts or something.
Yeah, right?
And she is going to meet her partner, Jax.
Yep.
Who Raiden has decided needs to be involved for no reason.
Sonya can't be alone, guys. That's her new weakness.
And, like, she didn't plan to be. It's like Liu Kang and Katana, you go this way. Sonya, you can't be such a loner. You have to find a partner. Like, I was going to go with them. Or you? No, not me, obviously. Yes, you'll find your partner, Jax. Where can I find Jax? Where would he even be? Somewhere in America. And just some random... in his house, I assume. Where else would he be? Only a minute has passed. No time has passed between the last movie and now. It's not like Jax has new information.
Right?
But still, where do our wandering eyes does Jax appear?
Well, like, she goes to a nondescript lab, right? I don't think it's anywhere specific.
There's a sign on the fence outside that's like medical research facility.
But she knows he's there, right? Like, she must have known how to roll in the hamster ball.
I don't remember if Raiden or her says that he's in there.
All right. Well, regardless, he's here.
I think Raiden may have used his god powers to know.
Those are some sweet god powers.
Yeah.
So he's there, and he is like bolted down to a table. I would describe it as.
Nobody else is in the room with him.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And he's just.
Sonya implies that when the world started merging with Outrealm or with Outworld, that everyone just left Jax bolted down to this table here. They're not being attacked. They were just like, well, this is weird. We're going to go and leave this guy here and not tell him anything.
How did he not starve to death?
I mean, only a couple of minutes has passed.
I was going to say, I would say it hasn't been a lot of time, but then apparently the events of this movie take place over the course of 6 days.
Yeah.
So I
don't know how much time is passing between scenes, really.
Maybe they spend 5.5 days in their little hamster balls just flipping around. And that's why they make such bad decisions and can't do cool karate. Because they have little head injuries.
All right, so then real talk, but like Jax would have pooped himself, right? He didn't know when he was going to get out.
Yeah.
He's just like, all right, this is it.
I mean, maybe that's part of him. Maybe they also replaced his butt with metal butt.
Well, we learned it's not a replacement.
On contact.
It's like an accessory.
That's true. Yeah, so let's get to that. So Jackson Briggs was Katana's partner, or not Katana, excuse me, Sonya's partner in the last one of these. He is just a normal guy, and then he's hanging out with Sonya, and then we don't see him again. Fast forward to this movie. I'm assuming he's a different actor just because that's how this works. But also, he has big metal arms.
Yep.
And it's treated like he's wearing a very large hat. Characters are like, why do you have that on? No one seems to care about the existence of them. They just think it's weird that he has them right then.
And also, he didn't like lose his arms in an accident and had to get bionic arms. He didn't have some kind of trauma. He didn't like have his arms get crippled, and he wasn't. You go.
He wasn't not able to lift something and like, oh no, I need arms for strength, like super robo arms.
Yeah, no, he just
and we've never seen anyone with these before.
Yeah, no, he just decided one day it would be cool if I had sick robot arms. And so he just signs up for some experimental procedure to get strength-enhancing robot arms.
Yeah.
Just because he feels like
I mean,
it.
wouldn't you?
Absolutely. There's no downside.
No. There is seemingly no downside in this, but I've always said when the cyborg parts become available, the first thing I'm doing is walking up to an eye surgeon, handing him a melon baller, and going, "Go to town."
Yeah, that's true.
I need new eyes so bad.
I mean, just cool. You could do so many cool things with eyes. You could get ads in your eyes. Wouldn't that be cool?
I just want eyes that work. That's all I want. I want eyes that function the way they're supposed to.
I mean, I want giant metal arms so I can lift up, so I can punch a big rock monster off screen.
I think
it's just off screen.
I think Jax, yeah, right. I think Jax makes a point is that really what would be the game changer would be metal legs.
Mm-hmm. Which, like, yeah, I don't know. Were those not available that day?
And the weird part is, what would they put casings over your legs? Like that might not make you run faster. Like it might, but it's not like a replacement. You're not like Octane, right? It's like,
I mean.
Yeah.
Characters
Plus
in this
make it hard to
movie.
wear pants.
guys.
Sorry, what'd you say?
Not gonna touch that one, huh?
Edit this part out.
Yeah,
But I was just gonna say, characters in this movie almost they don't run anywhere. They just do flips to places. So as long as your legs are good for extra flips, then you're gonna
Yeah,
win.
that's true. That's how you win every fight. The number of flips you could do.
So this is a fight. So Jax is broken out of his like hold thingy.
Which, by the way, he does without Sonia's assistance, so he could have done it the whole time.
Yeah, but he didn't want to. It was nice. He got to lie down, and he was like, "All right, well, I guess I got to save the world." But you know,
Before they left, the doctors were like, "Okay, we're gonna be right back. So just sit tight, stay here." And Jax is a good boy who listens to what he's told.
I guess so. He says, "All right, Doc,"
Yeah.
and that's it. No question.
So then, Fight 4, we have, and Fight 4, the way I'm naming these, or like categorizing these, is when two main named characters fight. So we have, this fight also has Sonya Blade versus Goons, but mainly it is Jax versus, do you guys remember who?
Now it's Sector.
Yes. Right.
It's the big monster guy, right?
It's the other robot ninja.
Isn't
no, it's-
Cyrex the other ninja?
Cyrex.
Yeah, Cyrex. The yellow one, the one that's mustard in the ketchup and mustard
Yeah,
relationship.
and it has the spitty green. I want to say like acid, but it's is it acid?
I don't know what it is. So his tummy also has bombs that fly around and then explode, but then also, yeah, it's like little, like, it's like a mesh that gets on Jax's arm, and then he, like, throws it off. It's a weird one.
I couldn't tell. I legit, and maybe I'm just, like, bad at watching, but I was like, is the CGI so bad that they're trying to say
Yes.
it's slime, and then he, like, picked it up like goop and threw it off? Like, that's honestly how I read that, and I could have been way off, but...
The part of the sentence where you said, is the CGI so bad that? Made it. The answer was yes. Also...
My read on what happened was that Cyrex shot the goo, Jax blocked it with his robot arm, so it all got all on the robot arm, and then he kind of, like, flicked it down onto the ground.
Okay.
Yeah. The problem with that, well, not the problem with that, but the thing that pissed me off later in the movie, when Raiden is telling everybody what their problem is, like he does in the other one, he says, like, Jax, you don't need your arms. Like, you weren't there earlier when I blocked some goo. Without them, I'd all be dead. We'd both be dead, probably. So, fuck off, dude. I don't
Also,
go to your
it's not
job.
It's not like I have these robot arms that increase my strength because I'm insecure. I have them because you told me we have to go punch a god to death. It feels
Yeah.
like I'm gonna need more than my regular human muscles to do that.
Did you see what happened to Johnny Cage? You fucking moron. You want that to be me?
Yeah.
Like, come on, bro. Also, Sonya wasn't able to rescue me, so without these robot arms, I'd still be strapped to some weird table. That's
true.
how it's gonna happen.
I mean, yeah, Jax. I don't hate Jax in this movie because he is a late 90s like unironic action hero one-liner machine, and it's kind of funny, but it gets a little tough with him because every scene he's like, "Who's this guy now?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you should know that, but you don't because no one's explained this to you." And it's pretty stupid that they didn't, but also maybe just shut up and go with it. I don't know. I know who they are. It doesn't matter to me. You're a POV character for people that didn't see the first one.
I find it pretty funny that Jax is constantly reminding the characters and the audience that he has no reason to be here and doesn't know
Yep.
anybody.
Yep.
Yeah. The only thing that I found interesting in the Jack Cyrex Sonya Goon fight, do you remember how they kill Cyrex?
Mm-hmm.
It's
I'm
the
trying to
only
remember.
thing from this movie that I was like, oh yeah, that's from the game.
Oh.
I mean, there's probably others, but that's like the main one. So Cyrex has been, I don't know, set on fire. There's fire near Cyrex, and then
Oh, yeah.
in what is almost kind of a clever thing. And I think if they did this in the first movie, I'd think it was awesome. But this movie is not good, so I don't. Sonya picks up some sort of flammable smoke and blows a kiss to Cyrex, which is one of her fatalities, I believe, in one of the original Mortal Kombats, and it explodes him.
Nice.
That was pretty good, yeah. So, point for the movie. Still quite far in the hole, but it does get 1 point there.
They made a reference and didn't poop themselves while doing it, so good job,
Yeah.
movie.
And you know what? To be fair, then, they're like, uh-oh, it's going to blow. We got to get out. And then that scene ends with an amazing explosion where they're just both midair. Like,
Yeah. They clearly
anybody-
just didn't want to film any kind of effect on the actual set.
Yeah.
So it's just the most it's the most like telling the actors to just jump on a green screen and we'll fix it all in post.
Yeah, MacGruber levels, just like, this is a bad action movie kind of, but we're doing it in purpose kind of thing. But it's such a short little clip. It feels like either the camera accidentally caught something in the background that they couldn't get out of it, so they had to get rid of the beginning part and the end part, or something like that. It's a really weird shot. But then we follow Liu Kang, who has now lost Kitana. So who to his wandering eyes does
So
appear?
well, Raiden tells him, it's so funny, it's like, I need you to find Nightwolf. He's going to help you. But you can't find him, he'll seek you out. So, thanks, Raiden. So he goes to the desert. This might have been the part of the movie that took the longest. Like, maybe Liu Kang was doing shit for like 4 days. It's very possible.
Maybe
Yeah.
he had a whole vision quest out in the desert.
Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, he has his vision quest out in the desert, and who do his wandering eyes appear but Nightwolf, who is so fucking good. So first it's a wolf, but we're the POV of the wolf,
Yeah.
and he goes to tackle Liu Kang. But it really just feels like the cameraman just tackles Liu Kang from the way it's
Do you
shot,
think-
because Liu Kang like grabs the sides of like legit like the camera.
Mm-hmm.
It looks so bad.
Do you think people watch this and it just looks so good to them that they're like, I wish I was a wolf? I think what I'll do is I'll build a wolf costume. This is the genesis of furries.
Oh my god!
Because-
No, please, Nando. That was Lola Bunny and Minerva Mink.
Yeah, you think so. It was Robin Hood for sure. We're all... I mean, Lola
Listen,
Bunny
we've been
definitely
making
didn't
sexy animals for as long as humans have been making cartoons. So
hurt. That's a good point.
It is a point.
But yeah, so then Nightwolf, yeah, that shot is really weird where the camera tackles Liu
It's
Kang.
bananas.
Yeah. And then Nightwolf turns out to be a guy. It's a Native American stereotype kind of guy.
Yeah.
What you'd expect in
Yeah.
a movie
I
like
will
this.
say, I do believe they got an actual Native
They
American actor.
That
So,
is
I mean,
true.
You cleared the lowest possible bar, I guess.
Yeah. You know what? We a lot of other movies we've watched so far have not had Native American actors. So,
I just mean because he is specifically a Native American character.
well, that too, but also it's just nice that he's there, that there is that representation. So right now we got this Suicide Squad. What other movies have Native American representation?
I
New Mutants. It's a rough group. But then he reveals. By the way, his transformation, not bad.
It's fine.
Not the effects
Big
were.
Animorphs energy.
I thought they were decent for the time. Not like later.
I mean,
It's not-
compared to the rest of the CGI, the transformation itself is not as nightmarish.
It's not the
Yeah.
worst in the movie.
Not even close.
That-
So what
It's
does
a
Nightwolf?
competitive category.
Yeah. What does Nightwolf tell Johnny Cage or Liu Kang? Excuse me.
It's like I forget. This is where it's like you need to embrace your animality.
Ugh. Now, what is an animality video game, people?
Oh, dude, I couldn't fucking tell
I
you.
mean, what is it in the games or what is it in this movie?
Well, either one, but it came from the games first, I would assume. Mortal Kombat, 3, probably? That's the one where all the bad things started popping up.
I don't know which one exactly it came in. But basically, they started introducing a lot of variants on Fatality. It started as a joke of, like, parent groups complaining about how violent the game was, so they added in some joke ones that weren't violent. Like Babality, that turns your opponent into a baby. But then they just added a lot.
Yeah, and all the characters could turn into animals.
Yeah. It turns out that every Mortal Kombat character is a lycanthrope.
Well, it's funny. Which one... Here's a question. The Mortal Kombat characters, if they all turn into one animal, give me one that you think is a lock. This guy turns into this animal.
Sonya Blade turns into a goose.
Oh my god.
I think that's right. I think I crushed it.
That's right. She's the goose from Untitled Goose Game.
I think so. I think I'm way closer than you think, so.
Well, I mean, you might be. All I'm getting at is Scorpion does not turn into a scorpion. He turns into something else. So the animalities are stupid in every way.
I thought you were saying that, like, if they could all turn into an animal, what would they turn into? And I'm like, I think so.
I mean, they can all turn into an animal. That's what the animality is.
Right.
They actually all turn into animals? I thought you guys were joking.
No, it's a real thing. It's like whatever one of these they added it in. You could, instead of a fatality, you could do an animality where you turn into an animal and eat the guy.
This is why I can't be trusted or whatever.
It's not like a canon power of all the characters in the lore, but yeah, in one game, everyone can do an animality.
Yeah. They were pretty stupid. But yeah, Nightwolf, I assume, is in that game, and he's probably a wolf. That one's probably true. So he's like, you have to embrace your animality. How is Liu Kang going to do that?
He has to do... There's 3 challenges he must face.
Okay, here's what I'm doing right now. I am drawing a 1, a 2, and a 3 on my notepad.
Okay.
We are going to fill these in right now.
Okay.
What is test 1?
Right. Test 1
Test
is don't bang a girl you just met while having a girl.
No, that's test 2,
Yeah, I don't think so.
Isn't it?
Diggins, what do you think test 1 is?
Test 1 is that he has to go on, like, a vision dream quest.
Right. And he sees, like, Kitana in, like, a weird outfit or something.
Yeah, and his dreams tell him you're scared of failing because you just failed right now, and and you're upset about that.
Right. Now, so then he wakes up from his vision, like, from test 1.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And he, to his wandering eyes, he finds some sort of, like woman dressed in rags and tatters.
And very scantily so. Like, very scantily.
And
also, they're, like, in the middle of a snowstorm now, even though he was in the desert.
Well, that's how much time passed.
Yeah. It's like in Hogwarts when it's just like different season now. 6 days have passed. So then he asks her, "Are you the second test?" And she's like, "I don't know."
Who's to say?
I don't think she is, right? Like,
no, because she has her own agenda. She's doing her own thing. She's not related to Nightwolf.
What do we think the second test is?
I swear to God,
I think Nightwolf was just messing with Liu Kang, and there weren't tests.
It kind of seems like that, right? Because there's definitely no third test. That one's never even mentioned. Liu Kang's not like, oh no, I didn't even do the third test. And then, the second one is nothing. Is Nightwolf like a good guy?
Yeah, he represents Earthrealm in Mortal Kombat 3. He's our savior.
Right, but is he like an asshole or is he cool? Should we trust this character?
I mean,
I would trust Nightwolf with my life.
To watch your life, then. If he tells you to do 3 things, you're gonna be sorely disappointed.
If someone told me to do 3 things and it turns out I only had to do 1 thing, I would be overjoyed.
I'd like to believe that there's like an obstacle course behind Jade, and she distracts Liu Kang, and he never does it. And then if Nightwolf was at the end of the movie, he'd be like, "So you got to the end of part 2, my obstacle course, which means you know the riddle for part 3." And Liu Kang would be like, "Dude, no obstacle course. There wasn't one. I don't know what you're talking about. Pretty girl you wanted me to kiss. That was the test, right?" Because,
and by the way, I love, this is far from the only movie that does this. I love the idea of hot girl comes up and wants to kiss you, and your only objection is, I have this tension with this other girl. We haven't talked about anything or been on a date or kissed or literally done anything but look at each other longingly. But this means I can never touch another human being ever.
Well, no, they're like an item though, aren't they?
And they held hands at the end of the last one.
They held hands, and then while they were traveling through the ball, they were like,
Oh, yeah. They had, like, an awkward
think-
little thing.
I think you might be kind of sexy. And then Scorpion shows up, and so they never resolve that. So literally, he's like, I can't kiss another human being ever because I told one girl that I think she's cute.
Yeah. And also, so this we will learn is Jade.
Yes.
Another Mortal Kombat character.
Yes.
Is she Kitana's sister?
No.
She's no relation to Kitana whatsoever.
She is Kitana's friend.
Okay.
She is also an Edenian. And I think they grew up together, but they're not related.
Right. Okay, because she is the third, or I guess the second Kitana palette swap in the game after Molina, who we'll see in a second. But yeah, and she's like not a good guy, but not a bad guy. I want to say she's one of those.
She leans good guy.
Yeah.
She's good friends with Kitana, who is a good guy.
Right. Yeah. And she's like, what does she tell Liu Kang? Just come with me, probably.
She's like, I know how to go rescue Kitana. I know Nightwolf said to do these tests, but I mean, he didn't even tell you what the other tests are, and he's not here right now. So I mean, what are you going to do? Just sit in the snow till he shows up?
It's a smart. I mean, everything she says is true. She does help. There's no trap. It's just she's right. And then they go together, and then I honestly can't remember. But then we get another fight, you guys. We're almost halfway through the fights. Sonia versus Molina.
Oh,
That's a weird one.
Worst one.
Now you'd think in a movie where the central premise is the heroes have to go get Kitana from the bad guys, and the bad guys are trying to set a trap and trick the heroes, that the fact that they have an identical clone, except for one glaring detail that can be hidden by an accessory, of Kitana would play a little more into their plan than it does, which is not at all.
Yeah, and, like, it's funny. It seems like all of the villains are doing their own thing. Like, Shao Kahn is just like, go, get me them. But none of them really coordinated this, because they all show up at different times, at different places, and some are plotting stuff, and some are just assaulting them, trying to catch them. It's weird.
Well, that's why this is a Mystic Knights of Tir na Nog type experience. Because they're all just the villain of the week who just shows up. Rita Repulsa suits out her ray and is like, I don't know, fight this giant crab now. And then the giant crab shows up and they gotta fight it.
This Molina-Sonya fight is unbelievable.
Oh my god.
It's it's wild. Where are they? Are they in the desert?
It looks desert-ish. It's very rocky. They're like in a bunch of rocky outcroppings.
Right, and they're gonna walk up to those things. Those, like, I don't know what they're called, but you know what I'm talking about. Those, like, things that they're like the big temples carved into the side of rocks. That's like a landmark, right?
There's a couple places on the planet that are like that. Yeah, Raiden has gone there to ask the Elder Gods why they let Shao Kahn break all the rules. And the answer is...
Dude,
yeah.
So that also, which is just like, holy shit. The Elder Gods are like really bad CGI elements. Like,
oh yeah,
oh my gosh,
they're awful. What are they?
So they're fire, water, and wind, and the water is awful. It's like just kind of like gel rain. It's kind of just like floating. The fire at least looks like fire, which is fine, and then the wind is just like a swooshy like tornado. And yeah, they're all like, Raiden, stop being a bitch. Hey, let's play a little trick on you, or like not even a trick, but like a game. If you give up your powers, we'll help you. And
except they don't.
Yeah, they like. Yeah,
they don't. Well,
I mean,
I will say though, in their defense, they explicitly tell Raiden, "We'll let you ask 3 questions," and his second question is just something like, "You're really gonna do this?"
It's a bad question.
They just told you have 3 questions, Raiden. Don't waste them.
I mean, just leave and come back in. Whatever. Like, reset the guys. I don't see what was it, 3 questions every 1,000 years or something? Also, I feel like Raiden is entitled to more questions. They just fucking they canceled Mortal Kombat. So, I don't know. They're like, oh, you have 3 questions. Like, listen, I'm not letting you guys get away with your bullshit, okay? We did a whole Mortal Kombat, and my guys won. The first time in 10 years, and now this guy's gonna just invade anyway? Like, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
One of his questions could easily have been just, where do you get off? Like, fuck you, ancient spirit thingies, elder gods. It's bullshit. But they're like, would you die for the humans to take away your immortality? And then he's like, I guess, if that will help.
Why are you fucking with me, elder gods, you pieces of...
He kind of wants to be a real boy. It seems like he would have done this anyway, if he could have.
Maybe he really wanted the haircut, and he's like, the elder gods do it so well. You try and go to other places that could like really get the haircut like nice and tight, but I think the elder gods have that special sauce that really make the haircut sing and like feel like really good.
It's the good stuff. By the way, this guy is not Christopher Lambert. He is some guy. For anyone who is concerned,
I wish it was Christopher Lambert. Just want him to bring that energy.
Yeah, I wonder what he was like what this guy, what they cast, you know, what they were like. We need someone who is about this tall and has white hair, kind of, because it almost seems like this just like an excuse to not have Raiden have long hair, because that actor didn't have long hair. But like, I don't know, he doesn't. Does Raiden even have long hair? Is that a thing? I feel like he usually has his hat on.
Yeah, and usually it's covered.
I'm not familiar with all of his appearances. Not typically.
Yeah, that's such a weird... I don't know. It's such a weird choice for Raiden.
Do you think there should have been red flags that so many actors did not want to be in this movie?
I mean, absolutely. But also, I can't imagine they read this... Like, do you think this is what the script was?
I mean...
Or do you think this is something else? Like some cobbled together version of a bunch of stuff? Because, like, there are characters that just appear and disappear. We're never going to see Nightwolf again.
Scorpio, Sub-Zero, the
like,
two most
Scorpion,
popular
Sub-Zero.
Mortal Kombat characters.
Yeah. Molina's about to go forever. Yeah, it's really weird. So I can't imagine that they handed Christopher Lambert the script and he was like, no, I don't want it. Because it costs more money. This one cost $30 million to make instead of 20. So
Well, all that CGI.
I'm sure they could have... Well, yeah, I like... It's a really, really awful mix of what they came up with. But, yeah, I don't know.
By the way, we never said specifically where the Sonia Molina fight takes place, which is
the best part. So funny. I love the end of that fight.
The end?
Yeah, what she says afterwards.
I don't.
DJ, do you want to say specifically where the Sonia Molina fight
Yeah,
takes place?
so Molina ambushes them while they're like just kind of going up a mountain, but like this part of the trail is just like, I guess it just rained because it was covered in mud. So, like, basically Molina and Sonia have, like, the equivalent of a mud wrestling fight, and it's so bad.
Well, okay, to be fair, choreography-wise, probably the best fight in the movie, which is a shame, because it's also the weirdest one. But I was kind of wondering about this as I was watching this. It's like, because up until this point, the fights have just been fucking people going through rooms, throwing stuff at each other. Like, there's been no actual martial arts in this movie. This is the first time where people actually do cool flips and kicks and stuff. But it is the mud wrestling competition between the two girls.
I mean, at one point they are rolling
get covered in mud
together. Like, that's how bad it is.
And while this is going on, Jax is dealing with goons and then a big giant monster.
Oh my god, the giant monster is so bad.
It's so funny because he just punches it, but you don't see him punch it. You just see him doing punches at the side of something, and then you see it die later. But yeah, then they both kill their thing. Also, when Molina dies, a little dragon flies out of her. I want to say that happens with Smoke as well. And then teleports away.
All of them. Yeah.
It's important, kind of, but also it's not. I want to say my favorite line is when that fight ends, Sonia's like, I need to go find myself a river, which is only funny because then in the next scene, she's not mud wrestling again. Like, she's just clean as a whistle. Like, she just put on a new pair of clothes and showered.
Right.
Which
she's
makes
not muddy, but she's also not wet.
Yep.
Yeah. That's why it feels like they just put that scene in the middle to pad time, you know? Because, like, nothing happens.
Every scene in this movie feels like it was put into at pad time.
That's true. But yeah, like, no one's ever like, Molina will get her. Molina isn't standing with the other villains earlier. She's just there for that bit. It's really weird. Raiden gets his hair cut, and he fights a bunch of reptiles.
And gets his Aladdin clothes.
Yeah, and gets his Aladdin clothes. Do you guys, a piece of trivia, do you know who played the reptiles? Or no, sorry, who played Raiden in the fight? Because it's not the actor that took over for Christopher Lambert.
Keanu Reeves.
Yo, that'd be fun. No, it's a young Raymond Parkington Jr. Darth Maul and Toad and the like. He probably could have been any of these characters, and I wouldn't have minded. He could have been Johnny Cage. Probably would have been better. Could have been Raiden. What if Raiden just came out of the temple? He's like, hey, I look like Red Park now. Want me to see me do a flip? This is pretty cool, right? This is better.
I love that.
I would have been for it.
Acting chops, about the same. You're not going to miss him. Don't worry. No, he's fine. And then Raiden also has this really cool Fresh Beach, California attitude of like, hey, man, just go with it. I got a haircut,
He
whatever.
runs his hand like through his hair, like, oh, if you can feel that breeze. Oh,
yeah.
Just all smiley.
Like he wanted to be a human because he loves humans so much.
He does love us, which I guess is nice.
This feels like another character, but I can't pin it down. You know who this is like? He's like Michael from The Good Place. He's got a very Michael energy here.
I can see that.
But, oh man, can you imagine if this was Ted Danson instead? Now that'd be something.
Oh, I'd watch the heck out of that.
He wouldn't even lose that first fight in the beginning of the movie.
And in the 90s, you got like peak Ted Danson.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Classic, yeah. Sam Malone vibes. That'd be great. Guys, we're about to talk about the worst fight in the movie.
Let's do it.
Liu Kang enters the place where Katana is, and either he rescues her or he is about to rescue her, and he is bum rushed by a thing that should have alerted everyone that this wasn't going to work. Like, something that if it was on the Power Rangers, I'd be like, really? This is not good for you.
But what if it was on the Mystic Knights of Tirnanog?
I think I'd still be like, are we sure this is the one you guys did the real one get lost, and this is the one you guys had to cobble together before you shot? It's so upsetting. DJ, can you explain this one?
Okay, so, oh god, so
does DJ not know who I'm talking about?
Well, it's not the Is this the Sindel fight? No.
No.
I'm sorry. No. It's the temple
DJ,
fight. It's the temple fight. It's the temple fight. This is the temple fight.
Temple fight with who?
So Raiden.
Nope.
Damn.
Nope.
Then I don't know.
It is a one-on-one Liu Kang v character from Mortal Kombat
that's
fight.
right.
It's very forgettable. I'll give it that. Like, it has nothing to do with the plot. This character is also not mentioned outside of this scene, like all of the characters in this movie. The fight doesn't really go anywhere. It's only memorable because of how bad the costume for this character
Diggins,
is.
go for it.
So Liu Kang is going to free Katana, and we keep getting like little vision, like something zooms past him so fast that he doesn't even see what it is, which is actually very concerning. I don't understand how that happened.
Lucky him.
He can't possibly have been moving that fast. But right as he's about to like throw the switch that will let Katana free, Baraka shoots out his little arm blades and comes down to fight Liu Kang.
Yeah.
And when I say Baraka, I mean a man wearing a rubber Halloween mask of Baraka's face.
Oh my god, that's right.
It looks like the dad who has a Baraka mask and every Halloween puts on a bathrobe and the Baraka mask to answer the door. Like, just, yeah, I've had it for a couple of years. It's from Mortal Kombat, you know. The kids
Everyone
like it.
needs to Google image it because it is just the worst. Like, Baraka, Mortal Kombat, Annihilation, ugh.
And like, if you were, if I had a like list of all the Mortal Kombat characters for the first couple of games, he would be on the list of like, that one's gonna be tricky to make in real life. Like, you're gonna have to do CGI or a really good prosthetic or some claymation thing like earlier. But yeah, they just have this really awkward latex mask. It's terrible.
Yeah.
And the fight's also bad because, I don't know, Baraka's kind of stupid. I was never a big Baraka fan, but just got his little knife thingies.
It's like he's like Vega. He's like Vega's like counterpart. I know Vega's not Mortal Kombat, but it's like the same deal.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same
Quiet.
deal in that they have arm blades. In pretty much every other respect, they're very different.
Well, they're both like I'll go with this with DJ.
Yeah.
They're both like kind of villains, but they don't have a whole lot of agency, and they don't speak too much.
Boom.
It's about as far as I'm willing to travel.
Vega
But
like big on? Isn't he like very honorable though?
I feel like he's usually a villain though. I think he's like a mercenary.
No, he's a villain, but he's an honorable villain.
Oh, sure. Villain in my book.
Baraka is like an animal.
He's a hero. He's only an animal because he's so hideous. If he could get that nice mask Vega wears,
Yeah.
he would have the luxury of being a
They
handsome
both
man.
benefit from wearing a mask.
Yeah.
Anyway.
The
So Molina, the cloning process that made Molina involved Baraka's somehow because she has a Baraka face.
But
So she has a Baraka face, but do we see it in this
no,
movie
she
at all?
covers it the
Not
whole
in this
time.
movie, no.
Also, that
Okay.
yeah, it's that would have been great to see. But you know what? It's very common for Molina to wear the like mask, so you know I'll go with it.
Mm-hmm.
Which again, it feels like if your villain plot is centered around tricking the heroes into going to rescue Kitana, you might want to use the fact that you have Kitana's identical clone.
I
And
mean-
then that would be a good reveal, like you tear off the mask and she's got the Baraka face, and you're like, oh no, it's not Kitana at all. But we don't do anything like that. She just shows up and has a dumb mud wrestling fight with Sonya Blade.
Well, to be fair, the heroes are idiots, so they would fall for that, but they would also fall for Jade being like, hi, I know Kitana, come with me. And that's the
They
same.
would fall for anything, but then the villains are also stupid, so the trap is just, let's give the heroes what they want, and then, I don't know, I guess that's
Yeah,
it.
we'll put him in a room with two villains, one of which will stand directly under the trap. So hopefully that guy doesn't get squished before the fight starts. We spent so much money on all that CGI arm technology from the last
Ugh.
movie. Be a shame if we
Yeah.
didn't get to see it in action.
Yeah, after Liu Kang beats Baraka and punches him into hell, Shiva shows up and is like, now it's time to fight me! But then Liu Kang just throws the switch that makes Kitana's cage fall and it crushes Shiva to death, and we never see her fight.
Yeah. Oh, and throwing him into hell, it's funny because in the supervillain layer, there's like a little, like it's like a koi pond or something, like where like the normal, there's like the part of the thing that you just walk on and is normal, and it's all just surrounded by fire. And at one point, Shao Kahn earlier in the movie is plotting, which we could talk about but whatever. And Rain is like, I'll get Kitana for you or something. Or like Rain's like, I didn't get Kitana. And then Shao Kahn just knocks him into this pit like fucking Dr. Evil. And fire comes out as he dies. It's so funny.
And then I think I swear they just reused that shot for Baraka's death. 'cause
Oh,
it's exactly
man.
the same.
That's very possible. I'd love to find that because, yeah, I buy it. But yeah, they get Kitana back. They just get her.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's great.
Way to go, guys.
And then off screen, Jax and Sonya beat up Sindel.
Yeah, so that part's really weird because this plan that the villains have, it's quite complicated.
I mean, it's keep a portal
The
open
plan-
for 6 days, right? That's the plan.
Well, the plan with the heroes is trick them into thinking reuniting Kitana and Sindel will close the portals, except it won't. But there's no second step to that plan.
Yeah.
Once they get them together, they're just like, haha, idiots, it didn't work. All right, bye.
Yeah, it seems like the same plan would have worked with, and then we kill all the heroes, and then it's just like, yeah, that's about the same plan we're mostly trying to do.
If their goal is just to keep the portal open for 6 days, to hide or whatever, right?
Or guard the portal. I don't know. It's might as well be what they do. But also, it feels like because we have Shao Kahn, and then we have the actual villain's name? Can never remember. Shinnok. So many characters in this movie, either their name starts with a C or an S. There's like Cyrex, Shinnok, Sector, Shao Kahn, Shang Tsung. It's just like, God. But it's almost like Shinnok was like, here's what we'll do. You're going to kill all the heroes. And Shao Kahn was like, I actually have a better plan. And Cyrex is like, or Shinnok's like, as long as you do that first thing, I don't give a shit what the rest of your plan is. Just make sure you keep sending nameless assassins, each with a gimmick too complicated to explain without actual explanation, and have them fight the heroes. Because Shinnok is like constantly berating Shao Kahn, which is weird for your supervillain.
Yeah.
He's not menacing at all. When he's like, Daddy, why don't you love me enough?
I mean, that's for sure.
Speaking of Daddy, what else do we learn about Shao Kahn?
What else do we learn about Shao Kahn?
He is Raiden's
Oh, yeah.
brother.
What?
Whoa.
Get out.
That's crazy. Is that canon?
Yeah.
Probably, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
There was no familiar... They are both gods. There was no familiar relationship between Raiden and Shao Kahn at all.
Sounds about right.
And there was also no familiar relationship between either of them and Shinnok.
This movie's awesome.
It really is.
They're just like, and that's a big thing. And they're like, why didn't you tell us? And it's like, well, I'm not working with him. He's just my brother. I don't know. Who gives a shit?
Didn't feel relevant.
Yeah, it's not like
He
I
kind
know
of
his
isn't.
secret weakness or something, and I love him so much I want to protect him. I would have killed him if I could have earlier. It's just inconvenient. But yeah, and then they have a fight, and then we're pretty much at the end of the movie, honestly.
Yeah.
4 fights. Oh wait, sorry.
Oh, by the way, when I say that earlier, I mean literally. Sindel pops up and is like, "Haha, idiot! Reuniting us doesn't close the portals at all. You got played, sucker!" And then her and Jade, who is in on it and is also evil, just go away.
Yeah.
And that was the whole plan.
And for her...
And then Shao Kahn is so mad that they left instead of killing them that he feeds Jade to another horrible CGI worm. Even though she has the very reasonable point of, like, there were, like, 6 of them and 2 of us, and Sindel can only do those bad spin kicks. We would definitely have died.
Yep.
Like, what would have been the point?
There is no point. Except for, I don't know. I mean, it's weird. There's so much about this movie that feels like they could have just added it after the fact. They've just been like, we'll put Jade in. Who's she? She's that one that's walking with him in that one scene, remember? We'll have to just create a backstory for her and then kill her off, like, basically all off screen. And then it won't really matter. The only characters that pop up in more than one of these that aren't the heroes are, like, Sindel and Mataro. Those guys are in most of the shots. Everybody else just comes in for a shot and then leaves for the next shot. They're never together.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a great, yeah. It's weird. It's weird because, like, the first movie was pretty good at being like, this guy should be in Mortal Kombat, so this is why he is. You know, it's like, even like when it's like Kano, where it's like, all right, well, he doesn't really have anything to do in this movie, but we want to put Kano in it because it's a Mortal Kombat movie. So what they do is they kind of finagle away for him to be in the plot. And he does this thing, and then they kill him, and it's fine. But with this, it's just like they had a list of guys, and they just, like, kind of Mad-Libs it with, like, and then they go fight, name of Mortal Kombat character. And then they go fight, name of another Mortal Kombat character. After that, they meet girl Mortal Kombat character. The end. But, yeah, I don't know. Kind of skipped over this. Remember that part where Raiden and Reptile are doing kicks at each other?
Yeah.
Like with these weird backward spin kicks, but neither of them are hitting each other.
It's very Duel of the Fates. Hit where he would be.
Yeah, it's really cool.
God,
so the movie ends. Big fights.
Raiden dies.
Got Jax versus Mataro. That one's pretty good. Oh yeah, Raiden dies.
It's so uneventful. Shao Kahn just shoots like we said, like a green orb beam, whatever, at him, and that's it.
And then never shoots beams of energy again, even when it would be very useful in the fight.
It would solve every problem. We should talk about the very last fight.
Well, I want to real quick. So we have Mataro Jax. Jax rips the arms off.
Yes. Which
some
still keeps
reason.
his arms intact. It's not like he's Winter Soldier where it's like, oh shit, you took my arm. It's
No, they're just like coverings that pump up his muscles, making it even more ridiculous that he apparently shouldn't have them.
Yeah. And it's not like he wins his fight because he fights Mataro, the big giant centaur man.
It's not like Mataro goes like, haha, fool, every time I get punched with metal, I grow even stronger.
Right. Yeah, it's just like he just happens to do a better punch. Like, kind of, it seems like he just does punches better without the metal arms on. But, I don't know. Seems like punches you could do with the metal arms on. Mataro's pretty awesome, though. I really like that weird-looking dude. Then we have Sonia versus Ermac, the sorcery ninja, who also creates Noob Saibot out of his body, apparently. Is this shadowy figure that is like his companion or something. That fight's stupid.
Yeah, and that fight's dumb, and the way it resolves is Sonya is losing, and asks Jax to help her, and then that's character growth.
Because she's not alone anymore, Diggins. Come on.
She learned to ask for help.
Mm-hmm. She does snap Ermac's neck in a way that I think is also a finisher of hers, but I can't remember. It's this very, like, she gets him within the, like, between her heels, and I don't know. These movies. Then we get Katana Sindel. I don't think they really do anything.
This is when Sindel does her really bad spin kicks.
Oh,
she just, like, spins in place like I would. And then does a half-hearted kick. And does that, like, 3 times. And that's their fight. It's so embarrassing.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's cool because Katana gets to use those fans we didn't see her use earlier, right?
Oh, my God.
No, she just punches Sindel and then puts her in an arm bar. And it's like, now we're going to watch Liu Kang fight Shao Kahn.
So what's that fight like?
Are either of us going to help the other?
Nah. What's that fight like?
Yeah, what happens there? That's a pretty good fight, isn't it?
I think Shao Kahn just ruins Liu Kang's day.
Pretty much. I want to say the beats of this fight are like a fight happens that doesn't go great for Liu Kang. And
There's
then
only one part that matters for this fight.
Well, there's 2. So then the animalities happen. And they turn into big, giant, like, I don't even know. What are
dragons,
they?
Right?
I think Liu Kang is just a regular dragon. But Shao Kahn is this weird, messed up, multi-headed
like a Hydra
thing.
He looks like a Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon from Yu-Gi-Oh, but with a big tail instead of
and
legs.
more heads. Like almost the final
heads.
form of the Hercules Hydra.
Well, I think it has, what does it have, like 4 heads?
Feels like so
right?
much more, but it might only be 4.
A Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon has 3. It's close. Similar in comparison. And it looks really, really bad on a phone.
Oh, I bet.
I cannot imagine what this movie looked like in a theater. But it's weird, because it feels like this part, obviously this part didn't look good, and I think they must have known that. It feels like this was the home run, kind of like big swing they were going to take that was going to make this movie so cool and awesome. But, like, none of this stuff, none of the animality stuff matters in the fight, even.
Yeah, they just have a dumb animality fight, then they both turn back into people. Then Shinnok is about to be like, oh, all right, I'll just kill him for you. Oh, because it's revealed, because after the animality fight, Shao Kahn is bleeding. And it turns out the price for breaking all the rules is that Shao Kahn can be killed now.
Yeah.
And Shinnok is about to just murder Liu Kang with a thought, because he can do that. But then the Elder Gods show up and be like, now we care that you broke the rules. And your punishment is you have to watch this sick fight.
Yeah. Well, the one god, the fire guy, even says, like, and the way that we will determine who wins and loses is Mortal Kombat. Like, we just did that the other day. How often does Mortal Kombat happen around here? Like, every fucking week there's a new Mortal Kombat. I thought this was a once in a generation. Yeah.
I like the idea that, like, everyone thinks this is some kind of sacred tradition with religious meaning or something, but really the Elder Gods just like watching people punch each other.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I do. Kind of. Not this movie, but, like, in general. If I were an Elder God, this would be on my list of things I'd like to do.
Establish the Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, just have that happen. Be pretty fun. I mean, this last fight between Liu Kang and Shao Kahn also kind of stinks, which is surprising because Liu Kang was good in the last movie. He did great martial arts fights with the other guy, the Shang Tsung. Like,
the actor, even Paul W.S. Anderson, that was one of his first action movies, and he didn't really, like, know super well how to film action. So the Liu Kang's actor, who was a stunt person also, like, taught him how to, like, film action scenes well. And so he's a big part of why the action scenes in that first movie look good.
Do you think this director came in and he was like, I know you thought you had to teach the other director, but I know how to shoot an action scene very slowly from far away. No one should be within a foot of each other fighter. None of the hits connect. Liu Kang kills what's-his-name with the weird backflip kick thing that if it wasn't in slow motion, I'd probably maybe half buy. But it's in slow motion, so you can see that he doesn't hit him. And it's the last kick.
I also think it's funny that they do the theme tune power up, like Mortal Kombat starts playing, you get pumped up, and then Shao Kahn, like, immediately punches Liu Kang into the ground and the music stops.
Yeah, that is fun.
Like, it's not played like a comedy beat, but it made me laugh.
Liu Kang, so in the games, he's famous for a couple of things. But the main one is that one kick he does.
Yes.
Where he jumps in the air and kicks you in your chest a bunch.
The one he did against Reptile in the first movie.
He never does it here, right? Okay.
Someone else does it. I think Raiden does it at one point.
I think you're right. Raiden has this weird floaty kick in the fight with Reptile, but I can't quite remember it either. But yeah, I don't know. Besides Sonya Blade, it's like they didn't really remember what anybody did in the game, so they just kind of winged it. They really got Sonya Blade. That was good. And then Liu Kang wins and Earthrealm is saved.
For real this time, hopefully, question mark?
For now. For that day.
Yeah.
I mean,
as soon as Liu Kang wins, Shinnok is sent to the Phantom Zone.
Put in
Yo,
a
for
box,
real.
like a weird...
He folds in onto himself, and then, yeah, goes into the Phantom Zone, and then all of our earthly things are saved. Our San Francisco bridge is back. Our World Trade Center is back, which is part of the thing, like part of the visual shorthand for the monuments have been saved. And I want to say, is Sydney Opera House the other one? What's the other thing that we get back?
It's the Eiffel Tower, which is just behind Shao Kahn in one scene, melting into the outworld scenery.
Oh, yeah, the Eiffel Tower!
Oh, my God.
Oh, man, that's weird. Yeah, and then the movie ends. Sindel is good now. She looks completely different. You would never recognize this character.
Yeah, we don't linger on it. Like, she shows up, and I'm like, who is that? And Kitana's like, Mom? And then we cut to another reunion, and like that's the full closure we get on Sindel.
Yeah, it's not like it's Angelina Jolie or someone really famous where you see him in makeup and then you see him in real life and you're like, oh, that's the same person. I couldn't even guess who this person was. I had to watch it again, kind of, to make sure that it was her. Mm-hmm. But
and here is where the first time anyone in the movie says the word Shinnok is the Elder Gods revive Raiden and are like, It's only makes sense that you should take the place of your father Shinnok, Raiden.
Yeah.
He gets to be an Elder God now.
And I feel like it would be fair at this point to ask the Elder Gods, hey, our friend is strung up there on that memorial rock thing. Would be nice if you brought him back to life too. Also, maybe Raiden can do it. Anybody able to reanimate Johnny Cage?
Also, if you were generally on our side, why did you lie about the way to close the portals to Raiden?
I think these Elder Gods, they have a very like Guardians from Green Lantern kind of energy. Is that what they're named? Yeah. Right?
Yep.
Guys with the big heads who just like don't give a shit. They like do, but they've humongous egos, so whenever you're like, that's not gonna do it, Sinestro's gonna kill everybody, they're like, shut up, we got it covered. And then you really find out that they have no idea what they're doing, and you just gotta solve all the problems by yourself. Like the Elders of the Universe, I don't think in Mortal Kombat lore ever make all that much sense either, or like, it just feels like whenever they're part of the story, that means the story's probably bad.
There was one, the twist end of Mortal Kombat 9 with the Elder Gods, I actually kind of like.
Oh.
Do we mind me spoiling?
Yeah, spoil away.
For the end of Mortal Kombat 9.
Pretty sure I already spoiled the end of 11 in this conversation, so whatever.
Well, the way they beat so the whole plot of that is in the future of the original Mortal Kombat timeline, Shao Kahn wins, and so Raiden sends his amulet back in time to his past self to stop it from happening. And the only advice, because I don't know, time travel rules, you can only send a phrase back or whatever, is he must win. And it turns out at the end what he meant is Shao Kahn needs to be allowed to successfully invade Earthrealm after losing the Mortal Kombat, because doing that will piss off the Elder Gods and make them destroy him.
Ah, that's fun. That's very clever.
Yeah, so the solution at the end is to let, in the events of Mortal Kombat 3, instead of losing like he did originally, let Shao Kahn win, because then the Elder Gods will take care of him. Because now they notice that he's breaking all their rules.
They really play fast and loose in the Elder Gods, referees. I feel like the Elder Gods referees are like the referees at a football game, where I don't know, this probably won't make too much sense to Diggins, but DJ, you know how there's the referees that call all of the pass interferences. Yes. Then there's other referees that are like, yeah, you know what, it's football, let him play. I feel like that's what these Elder Gods are like. They're that other referee. Gotcha. That's just like, yeah, we didn't see it, whatever. I guess they're like wrestling referees, honestly. They're there at the very end when the guy that should win is winning, and all other times they have their back.
That does make sense, yeah.
Yeah, and then Raiden ascends. He becomes, I guess, the Earth Elder God? Of the element Earth?
Wouldn't he be lightning?
You'd think so, but he kind of turns into, like, dust.
Right.
When he ascends. I couldn't
if
figure that
he
out.
talked to water, air, and fire before, then I guess one should assume that Shinnok is the Earth Elder God because he wasn't there.
Oh, that's true.
So if Raiden is taking Shinnok's place...
Yeah. It is a weird, it's a weird dust kind of particle effect. Also, Raiden says they're all family, which they so aren't. Jax doesn't know any of these people. He knows Sonia a little bit, probably. Like, they seem to be friends. He's never met the Sindel. He didn't know Katana or Kung Lao.
Nobody knows Kung Lao because he hasn't shown up.
Or, excuse me, Liu Kang. Yeah, he wishes he knew Kung Lao. Fucking hero of this movie. Need Kung Lao in these. All in all, this movie is not very good. There is a full 10 minutes of credits, which is insane.
Yeah.
For any movie, but for a movie like this.
I will say I usually sit through the credits just because I like to do that. I like to, let the people have their moment to get thanked and also to just sit and absorb a movie after I watch it. Immediately turn this one off.
Dude, it's so long. I was like, is there like a next thing? Some sort of after credits? Because sometimes, Marvel credits are long, but there's at least an extra minute, but no, 10 minutes of people we gotta thank, I'm sure there's some people that work very hard on this movie that were doing their very best, and it's just such a weird little thing. I'm glad that the new one has nothing to do with this one, like the Mortal Kombat reboot 2021 or whatever we're calling it, because this blows. Any other thoughts? Anything else we forgot?
It's not worth mentioning in detail, but there's the stuff we only talked about the fights, right? There's so much little nonsense that happens. Like, the not fights, like the bickering with Shao Kahn's, goons and stuff, that is just so dumb and just, mind-numbingly stupid. And it's all here.
Yeah, it's pretty weird.
Also, I pointed out Sindel's line read at the beginning because that's my favorite one. There's a lot of baffling line reads.
Jax has a lot of really bad ones.
Yeah.
I think I said to DJ before we started that it's like everybody in this movie just learned how to read yesterday.
Yeah. And it's a shame because obviously Christopher Lambert, probably the most accomplished of all the actors in here. But Veronica Vaughn is pretty good. And I'm not saying the new Veronica Vaughn isn't. But, or whatever, the new Sonya Blade, but I don't know what this one's from. But Johnny Cage, whatever that actor's name was, besides being pretty good at martial arts, he was also good at one-liners and stuff like that. And while Jax has a similar energy, or is seemingly trying to emulate that kind of action hero energy, it does not work as well. I don't know exactly why, but I think part of it is the lack of self-awareness that comes with a Johnny Cage character, where he is kind of an intentional parody of a Johnny Cage character, where Jax is just some guy who says, where'd that robot come from? And yeah, it's real dumb.
It's awful.
It's a bad movie. Yeah, it really is.
Just look up, again, I don't know a specific one. I'm not, trying to point you to one that I know exists. Go find the, 10 to 15 minute compilation on YouTube. That's all you need.
Yeah. And with that, you guys want to get to our classic segment?
I would love to.
All right. DJ, do you have anything to recommend to the fine people today?
I do. So season 2 of The Circle has kicked off on Netflix.
Hell yeah.
Have you watched it at all, Nando?
I watched the first 4. I know one came out today. I have not watched it.
Yeah, so they released the next 4, 5 through 8 today. I did watch 5. I have to say, I kind of hate a lot of the competitors this time, and I haven't found the season to be as enjoyable as season 1. But
and that's why you're wrecking it.
Yeah, I know. I'm with you. There's no Joey, or whatever his name was.
And it's still good. I really like this show, and I think it's, in terms of reality shows, what it has to offer is mostly good. But just because it's not season 1 doesn't mean it's not worth watching. Definitely watch it, but I would temper expectations is all I'm saying. But yeah, there's some contestants who I really don't care for. I won't say specifically because, if you haven't gotten through it yet, I do like how Netflix is doing the model of 4 at a time.
Do you have one you like the most?
So someone joined in episode 5 who I really, really like, but from the 1 through 4 group, I don't know. It's hard. Honestly, probably Chloe. Chloe's probably my favorite.
Which one's Chloe?
She's the British one from Too Hot to Handle.
Yeah, honestly, I was surprised by how much I liked her.
Yeah.
Not expecting too much.
It's because she's the one who just seems like to be like the most her, and there's like nothing else going on. Like the guy playing Emily, I don't really care for him. Like I think he's like good at playing the game, but I don't really care for him. The guy playing Rivers, fine. It's like cool to have like an older guy there, but whatever.
His
but, like,
character doesn't have any personality. Like
exactly.
I feel like everybody in this season saw the last season and knows that the less choices you make, the better, or something. Because the main value of being in the circle is being one of the first couple of contestants and just lasting. But yeah, I agree. I used to like the I forget what she is. The girl who's
Terralisha?
Yes.
Or,
what's her job
yeah.
in real life? Teacher or something?
Teacher.
Yeah.
Teacher, yeah.
I used to like her, but then she has a really stupid beef with someone that's gone on for so long
Savannah.
I can't even remember who's at fault.
And that's one of the things I said the problem with the show is that to the Bachelor's credit, one of the good things it does is it truncates all of the drama into these like short bursts so you can follow the thread.
Yeah.
But the circle is really bad at keeping that one thread going. And you're like, oh, wait, I don't even remember like why I'm supposed to care about this, which is why I think this show's better when it's less drama focused, because it's hard to keep that like why and how of the drama going on like a Netflix series over several episodes, especially when you don't have recaps. And it's like a lot of nonsense from scene to scene. So it's better, like the show's better when you have a Chloe who you can figure out what her deal is and just see her interactions and just have that like multiply. Like in the first season you had like Joey and Shubham.
Yeah.
Like that was like lightning in a bottle, and it's hard to like replicate that. And like Sammy's really good, and like I really like Chris, but like I think these guys in season 2 are all over the place. I think you're right. I think they might have watched season 1 and figured out, okay, I'm just gonna be like a do nothing, and then I'll see how long I last. But I'm hoping that kind of falls apart. But there's just some of them who like really fall flat for me, and I don't really care for. But again, I would still watch the show. I think it's worth it. Yeah. So yeah, I think this is I think it's a great show, and I think it's worth watching. I would rec Invincible, but I can't because Nando already wrecked it. But I watched it based off Nando's rec, and it's great. So.
Yep, we're getting close to the last one.
Exciting.
Probably when this gets released, 7 will be out, and then there'll only be 1 left. And I'm really interested, as someone who kind of knows what's happening, where 7 will end and 8 will begin. If it's going to be like Game of Thrones, where the big action is in the second to last episode, and then the last episode is like falling action, or if it's going to be like, Captain America, Winter Soldier, where like the last episode is the big one.
Right.
So we'll see.
It's exciting. So, that's Circle Season 2. Go check it out.
All right. Diggins, what about you? Do you have anything to recommend?
Yeah, I just have a quick one for a movie I watched this past week. This was part of my Criterion Collection one-a-week watch thing. Last week was the 60s, so I watched one that I had been meaning to watch for a while. It's called Putney Swope. This is a movie written and directed by Robert Downey Sr.
Oh.
And it is about this corporate board of an ad agency, the chairman of the board dies during a meeting, and so they have to elect a new chairman, but they're not allowed to vote for themselves. So everybody, in a bid to win, votes for the person they think no one else will vote for, who is the sole black member of the board, a man named Putney Swope, who immediately fires everybody and turns it into a new business called Truth and Soul.
Oh, God.
And it kind of goes from it's a satire, obviously, on advertising and also American society in general, and the one might say racist underpinnings of a lot of it. It's kind of interesting to watch as it's an independent movie. Before that was like an industry that existed, so in a lot of ways it feels very rough. It's kind of a shaggy. It's only like 80 minutes long, but it can feel very shaggy because the editing's kind of loose. The plot structure is bizarre. It's intercut with the commercials that this ad agency is making now, which are kind of just these surreal skits. But I think if you can deal with all of that, it's a very interesting, almost kind of Mel Brooks-ish satire. A little less madcap, but similar in terms of its satirical purpose. Very, very, very biting and cynical in that. But I think it's a very interesting watch, and I'm glad that I finally got a chance to sit down and watch it like I've been meaning to. So if any of that sounded interesting to you, it's called Putney Swope. It is currently on the Criterion channel, and it is also on Amazon Prime, which probably more of you have. So if you have either of those services, you can check it out there.
Cool. I got a couple things. I'll say The Circle was also interesting. I'm with DJ. I'm not quite feeling this season as much. I also think they're like getting a little gimmicky. Not like gimmicky. Gimmicky isn't the right word. They're throwing in some new mechanics that I'm not quite sure about. The big one is the one at the end of 4. So I haven't seen how that plays out, but I'm a little like, ugh. But we'll see. It's a game show where like I just don't know what the goal is. Like there is no goal besides just like stick around. So it's weird because I don't know. I do enjoy it though. It's fine. I think I said I started It Takes Two a couple weeks ago, maybe, or maybe last week. I finished it. It's fun. It's a very good couch co-op game, like whether you need marriage counseling or not, even though it's kind of like a marriage counseling game. But it's mostly just like a fun couch co-op game where it's like it's really a couch co-op game. If Portal 2 was mostly all of the cutscenes were just the two Portal robots bickering at each other. But it's pretty funny.
That sounds fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got some moments that I quite liked. So I can definitely recommend that. Mortal Kombat 11, started playing it, really enjoying it. Yeah, it's very fun. Okay, main thing. So I watched 2 movies this week. Very different. So first one, I watched a movie on Netflix called Synchronic. Have either of you guys seen this?
Negative.
I haven't watched it, but I've heard of it.
It's their new movie of the week. It's got Anthony Mackie is Mr. Falcon and it's not the one where he's a robot. That's a different one. A different Netflix movie of the week from a couple months ago. In this, he's like a guy. He's like a new Louisiana paramedic who notices that there's some sort of drug thing going around and strange things are happening and it's kind of paranormal maybe or something. It was fine. It's kind of like, yeah, it was all right. Yeah. So I have, I enjoyed it. I wouldn't say it's like I gotta go watch that right now, kind of movie, but it's fun. And you know who else it has? It has Jamie Dornan in it. I like him. I know I said this after Robin Hood, but I think that guy, he's in a weird box because of those 50 Shades movies, but I could see him being good in some, Marvel thing at some point down the line. The other movie I watched, so after the Shang-Chi trailer came out, I saw a lot of people really giving a lot of attention to out of everything in it, but also Tony Leung, who plays the Mandarin or whatever. He's probably some other character that it might be I don't know. He's the real Mandarin. I don't know if this character has another name. But either way, he so I was like, I don't know that guy from too much stuff. I wonder what's his deal. So I asked people on Twitter, what's a thing that I should watch with him in it? Got a lot of different answers. I went with a movie called In the Name of Love, which is from early 2000s, and it is a movie about a guy in 1960s Hong Kong whose wife is never home, who notices that his neighbor's husband is never home, and then they start kind of hanging out together, and it's kind of sad, but not sad. It's not sad. It's got some sadness in it, but it's very much just a pretty straight drama, subtitled and stuff, but it was pretty good. I liked it. It was nice. That one was on HBO, so easy to find. I do want to watch, I know, so the other things he's in Hero, which I've never seen, He was in Hard Boiled, which was the one I tried to watch last night, but couldn't finish, so I was too tired. And then, what's the other one? Oh, he's in Infernal Affairs, the Departed, but original Departed, before they brought it over to Boston.
Right.
So, yeah, I watched one of those. But, yeah, so those were my movies this week. Comics, not too much new and exciting stuff. So, yeah, what are we doing next week, you guys? I mean, we know this.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat.
Do you think... What do you think they'll do?
God.
Do you think they will have the theme play like Wonder Woman just every time a fight starts in Snyder Cut, just like a little bit? Or do you think they'll save it for one big one?
I'm not sure.
I hope
want to say
they
one big one.
save it. I hope they save it.
Yeah. I do too. Yeah, I watched the first 7 minutes bit. Looks awesome. I think this is a movie that Mortal Kombat fans are going to really like. Other people might be pretty confused, but that's fine. Not every movie's for everybody. Does anybody have anything to plug?
Just same. Check out Roses and Rejections on the Pop Break Network feed. Gonna talk about season 2 of The Circle. Also, we're gonna cover some of the news regarding the Colton coming out. Not real, like, gonna talk about like the Bachelor Nation, like what different people have been saying and what might be in his future. So yeah, gonna get the pop culture beat on that. So
cool.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Diggins?
Yeah, just my usual, my newsletter, a little perspective.substack.com. If my brain ever comes back from the war, there will be more content there.
Yeah, baby.
Nice. Yeah, I think I'm doing, I was working on a video about another Justice League, like, small change video that I'll probably have on the channel soon. But I'm also working on a Falcon and Winter Soldier one that I think I pretty much got written, but I still want to see how the last episode plays out before I actually finish. So I don't know which one of those will show up first, but both will be on my channel eventually. Yeah, that's all I got. So next week, Mortal Kombat. Until then, I am at Nando V Movies on Twitter.
I'm at Zippy by Day.
I'm at This Is an Odd Name.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye. We love you.